You're not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show live on your YouTube machine. How the heck are you on Thursday, April 2nd, 2026? Again, I know I say this every day. I cannot believe that it's April already, but it is. On The Monty Show, presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And again, I will tell you, the best part about The Advocates is you never reach into your pocket, so you have no risk. That's why you get clear, risk-free advice at theadvocates.com, where, trust me when I tell you, when you've been in an accident, and hopefully you've never been and you never will be, but when you're in an accident, it is one of the scariest, most frustrating situations you'll ever find yourself in, because you don't know who to trust. You have that feeling of, well, I've never been here, or how am I going to get to work because my car's totaled, or, hey, I broke my leg, I slipped and fell, I broke my leg, the neighbor's dog attacked me, I can't go to work today. Like, you're trying to figure all this out. Just hand all that to the advocates. Give the advocates the claims process. Let them fight that for you, and they will. 24/7, 365. You can talk to an injury attorney at theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on The Monty Show. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at this tampering thing that came out yesterday, because we've talked about this on the show a lot. I think tampering is a huge problem in college football and basketball. I think it is one of the biggest threats to fan engagement with sports. And I mean, maybe I make too much out of it, but my belief is that tampering is rampant. I think the stories we saw around Pete Golding at Ole Miss and and you're going to hear from Pete in a minute, because I do think this is the Pete Golding rule. Like, this is, hey, scumbag, leave that enrolled kid alone. And I think it is just the worst of the worst, the dregs of college athletics, when you have coaches that will reach out to a kid who just transferred to a school, who is enrolled at that school. The transfer portal's shut, and they'll say to that kid, oh, just come and enroll. Just drop out of this school and come to our school and enroll. We'll give you preferred walk-on. We'll take care of you. Right? Like, we'll figure out the scholarship situation. Come on down to Main Street. We'll take care of you. I think you are a huge scumbag for doing that. And I think it's rampant. I think it is absolutely rampant. Do you think it's a huge problem, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I think that right now, just generally speaking, because there's really not that much enforcement going on, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. And this tampering thing is the one that I think just rubs people the wrong way. I think a lot of people agree with you that, tampering in this form and fashion, you're just the dregs of society. And so I think that, there's a lot of vitriol on this topic with head coaches and people in the industry. And so I think that, something had to be done about it. And you're in a space and time where I think that specifically with everyone always points to the Ole Miss, Clemson, Luke Farrelly thing. And that was like the big case because of what Dabo did. But like, if you look at all the head coaching movement, guys taking new jobs, leaving old jobs, that only adds fuel to the fire for the need to tamper, if you think about it, because these guys have their relationships from their prior job. They go to a new job. They're looking to get this kid or that kid because that kid was really good for them in any given position or situation. And so I just think it really, as usual, comes down to, what lines you're willing to cross and which ones you're not, and how much risk you're willing to take. And clearly there are some guys who are willing to take a ton of risk and other guys who are not willing at all. So I think that's what's challenging about it.
Yeah, I think it is a big deal. And if you did not see it yesterday, the NCAA is absolutely dropping the hammer. Kind of what we told you it was. And what we had talked about on this show was the coach is going to pay a heavy price. A heavy price. And now we know that is in fact the case, and that these rules and punishment for tampering or ghost transferring, where a kid doesn't ever go in the portal, he just transfers to another school. The coach will be suspended for 50% of the season, and the school will lose 20% of that sports budget in the form of a fine. That will equal 20% of that sports budget. Too much, too little?
I mean, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty on point. I mean, I think that when you're talking about punishments, and you're essentially talking about stealing talent from another team, right? I mean, that's what you're doing, and so I think that if you're caught doing that, there is no telling how stiff the penalty really should be. So I have no problem with this with this set of rules that they've laid out, and I think that the fine being equal to 20% of the sports budget is totally reasonable. I mean, if you're going to go out here and try to steal talent and steal kids and do this nefarious stuff behind the scenes, I mean, I just think that you're asking for karma to come back to you. You're asking for a lot of discipline to come back your way, and this has precisely been the issue in college football for how long? I mean, everyone always wants to say, "Oh, well, the SEC's been doing this for years. They've been under the table with kids for years. And, this is how they got their advantage. And that's the only reason the SEC is better." Well, all of you haters on the SEC can rejoice now that we have punishment. But my question still remains, what does the enforcement look like? Because we know that that's the true issue in college football, is that it's great that we have these rules and these alleged punishments that are on a piece of paper, but what is enforcement actually going to look like? And we know that we're trying to get to a new entity where enforcement would be much more rigid, much more aggressive, but we're not there yet. So that's why I'm really curious around when's the first time that someone's going to get slapped over tampering? Who's that first person that gets caught doing it? Yeah,
not
seriously.
soon enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do hope that this happens now. I think, and I'll play you this bite from Pete Golding, because this is really the genesis of maybe the boiling point. You guys remember now the infamous Dabo Sweeney presser, right?
This is like, there's tampering and then there's blatant tampering. Tampering 101 is when you're talking to kids who aren't in the portal. Tampering 201 is when you've already negotiated the deal with the kids not in the portal. Tampering 301 is when you got a kid who's gone in the portal, signed somewhere, moved there, gone to classes, and you're texting them while they're in class. That's like a whole nother level of tampering. And it's total hypocrisy, because all this is going on while they, on the other side, are trying to fight their defensive end from going in the portal. They have accused publicly others of tampering with their roster and their players while they are over here tampering. All right, so this is just a really sad state of affairs, and it's, to me, we have a broken system. And if there are no consequences for tampering, then we have no rules and we have no governance. It's really just that simple, okay? This is not, let me be very clear, this is not about a linebacker at Clemson. I don't, listen, I feel sorry for I think it's a symptom of a system that you have a kid that I meet at 9:30 and he's, signing the next, like, Like, I feel sorry for the young man, to be honest with you. I blame the adults. And again, if you want to have adult world, then there needs to be adult consequences. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you
I'm not
want
a
to
Dabo
have,
guy, but I agree with Buddy. What do you say?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. And I think then you flip that around. To he's talking about Pete Golding, and he's talking about the linebacker scandal. And I think when you look at you look at where Pete Golding is currently on this, I mean, I think it's a farce.
Just when he was pretty vocal about his version of events, how Luke Farrelly got here, just wanted to give you a chance to, ask, did it all go down like he said, and what was your kind of reaction to being called out?
Yeah, obviously, I think there's two sides to every story, right? And so I'm not going to sit up here and use the podium as a grandstand and all that, right? That's why there is enforcement. That's why we have a compliance office, right? That they do all that. So, the bottom line, the recruitment of Luke, he came on an official visit, right, prior to the Fiesta Bowl. And I told him, hey, I want you to be our green dot Mike, but right now we got a green dot Mike, right? And that spot's not going to be available until we don't have, until we have one available. And so I want you. He wants to be here. I said, but right now there ain't a spot available. So if that spot becomes available, it's yours, right? So it's a kid that wanted to be here, that we wanted to be here, that at the end of it came open, and he's here, and we're happy to have him.
So you did it. You did it. That's what happened.
Tampering.
Right? Like and what he's trying to say without saying there is, well, the spot came open. So we were able to,
Tampering 101.
There's no way around Pete Golding being a scumbag in this situation, because that's how I feel it went down. I think Pete Golding did exactly what Dabo said he did.
Yeah. I mean, it's so clear.
Pete doesn't deny that. Pete doesn't try to deny that. I don't know what else there is to talk about. This is the Pete Golding rule.
Yeah,
and it will be the Pete Golding rule forever going forward.
But does he get disciplined? This is my question.
Because the rules weren't in place at that point.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean about discipline in college football, though. If a kid broke a rule at practice yesterday, but the rule didn't exist, and then it was created the next day, you know that there would be coaches in college football that would drop the hammer on their players and discipline their players to set a certain culture. And I think that's the problem. It's always been the problem. It's always been, hey, yeah, go ahead and run the red light because it's not illegal right now in college football. But then tomorrow we're going to say it's illegal to run red lights, but we're not going to discipline you for doing what you did.
I think you have to react, especially in these situations. You can't forecast a ghost transfer.
Right.
You can't forecast a situation. I think that there were slight penalties in place, and this ratchets that up. It's the only way to stop guys like Pete Golding from doing whatever it is they want to do. And I absolutely think that Pete Golding is a scumbag, and this is how college football operates in a lot of circles, and people don't want to talk about it. But this is the reality.
Yeah, I just think that people are always out there scheming and trying to find their way to getting this player or that player. And again, FTR, I'm not a Dabo guy. Like, I never have been. I think that Dabo has been living in the Stone Ages with college football for years now, and that's why they've struggled. But I think he's got this one right, man. I think that, we talked all about it when it came out, and now that we've kind of come full circle with it, and you have Pete Golding just dancing around it and essentially admitting it without admitting it. Like, I think it's just a bad look overall. And again, why did this happen? What needed to take place for Pete Golding to even have the opportunity to tamper? Well, you had to have a head coach taking a new job. And that's where I feel like tampering is born. When a head coach, and I'm not saying it's Lane's fault, but just if you look at any of these situations, tampering only needs to take place because you weren't the head coach at that time, and you're trying to play catch up, and you're trying to build the best roster you can. So you're just going to go out there and basically steal players right out from under them. So that to me is the other side of the coin of, like, that's why discipline has to be high. That's why you have to slap these guys with discipline, because it needs to be a thing where it's like, yeah, dude, like, You just took this job. Yeah, you're going to get a year or two of a grace period to build the program and to not win and to take your time. And that's how that works. So I just think I agree with you, man. I think Pete Golding is the worst of the worst. I think that Trinidad Chambliss yesterday talking about how he's so much better than Lane and he actually, he leads by example. And I'm off the Trinidad train, dude. Like, you're out here supporting a guy that you damn well know.
The Trinidad train.
You could have gone to the league, right? And I wasn't planning on talking about this today, but since we're talking about Pete Golding, you could have gone to the league, Trinidad. You could have been in a spot where you were professional, but you didn't want to do that. You wanted to go through the courts and fight your eligibility and make a big spat. And you're doing all of that while playing for a head coach that's essentially doing the same thing, tampering and stealing players and bending rules and breaking rules. And so it just, it doesn't lend itself to me being like, yeah, Post Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss is running a real tight ship, because they're not. That's the problem.
Yeah, and if you didn't see the Trinidad Chambliss bite, you really should go find it, because it's very interesting. I think we're in the wild, wild west. I think we're in a position where there are no guardrails. And this tampering punishment that we're talking about now is the guardrail. And people get shocked by it, and people get surprised by it, and they get offended by it. This isn't offensive. This is what's necessary. This is what's necessary. And in my opinion, I don't even know if 50% is enough of a punishment, or a guardrail, if you will, a deterrent. Because I just think that the greed is so massive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you lose your coach for half the season. I think it's going to be tough to say that the NCAA didn't have a punishment. Now, the question is, how soon does this end up in court?
Right.
That's going to be because you're going to get sued over it. And this, again, goes back to you need a new entity so all the lawsuits stop. But I think on its face, this is the right step to take.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like Trinidad Chambliss, who will only have eligibility because, well, he went to court.
That's like a whole nother level of tampering.
Right? Like we've got to figure out how on earth you stop people from suing so they can continue to skirt the rules. Right? This is the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. All of the lawsuits.
Endless examples.
It's incredible. Oh, I like these rules when they're applied to my opponents. Oh, you're applying them to me? Let's go to court.
Yeah.
That's what all of this is. And you and I both know that's where this will end up.
Mm-hmm.
It'll end up in front of a judge. And yeah, it's robbing Dabo to pay Peter, right? Like,
there's tampering, and then there's blatant tampering.
And yeah, college sports is absolutely a mess right now. It's absolutely a mess. I just don't know. I don't know how you fix it. Jake should start using for what it's worth. FWIW. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, TCU James, or excuse me, Chaplain James White would have to be here to translate that.
Right. We need our translator back in the chat,
It's so funny to me. I was messaging with somebody who I think is a millennial, and I had helped this person do something.
Mm-hmm.
And he sends me a message. It was something like, lots of love for you for helping me through this. And it was like, LLY. Like, what? And I'm like, what is this? And I actually Googled it. And it means lots of love for you.
Google me.
Stop doing that.
Bro, oh, well, LLYXY banana.
FTR. Fuck your FTR. You can't just say for the record.
You can't just thumb out for the record. What, was your thumb buried too deep in your Buc-ee's sandwich, dude? Come on, bro.
I am just so over it. I am so over it. It just is. All of this. Oh, look at cool guy with his acronyms and MDiv and screw you and
Listen,
shut up.
BRB, dude. Like
Yeah,
BRB, dude.
Gotta take a
LOL.
leak. Gotta do NRB, BRB. Okay, all right.
Right.
Perhaps play a little game called Just a
You
Tip.
know,
Yeah. You know.
PDH, BRB. You know, like whatever. Lawyers want to mess good money, I guess.
Billable hours, baby.
I agree with Jeremiah. College sports is just a disaster right now. And you know what? We'll get a new entity at some point. Will that fix it? No, because we'll just find ways to screw that up too. Right? We'll find ways to go to court over that too. I think we all know it. We'll find a way to end up in court in a new system. You know that's absolutely true. And it just is what it is. Pete learned from the best.
No, see, don't put this on Lane, dude. This has nothing to do with Lane Kiffin, bro.
Lane Kiffin catching strays now.
Dude, you here's the difference, bro. Here's the difference. Lane Kiffin didn't get caught tampering the way Pete Golding did. That's the problem. That's what you don't seem to understand. And this is old world business philosophy, right? It used to be that business was done in a certain form or fashion. There was the unspoken morality clause, if you will. Hey, like, okay, you can bend the rules here. All right, fair play, fair game. I'm not going to take it personally. Like, that's just kind of the nature of business. But then guys like Pete Golding come in and they want to text Buddy while he's in class at Clemson, and they want to take it too far. And I'm telling you, it wrecks a system that was working for most people.
Just
that's
fine.
what no one wants to talk about is that, oh, well, he learned from the best, Monty. Lane Kiffin is the ultimate college football snake. No, he's not, dude, because if he was a snake slithering through the grass of the college football landscape, he would not be where he is. He would not have had the success he's had. He would not be regarded as one of the best. He wouldn't be. That's just not where he would be. That wouldn't be his reputation.
Yeah.
And I understand that a lot of people despise Lane Kiffin and they don't like Lane Kiffin and they think that Lane Kiffin somehow is the dregs of college football. I'm telling you, I'd rather have a guy like Lane Kiffin who understands how to respectfully bend rules and operate, versus Mr. Golding over here who wants to admit it without admitting it after the fact. After
Lane
he got called out publicly.
Lane doesn't break rules. He fractures them, maybe sprains them.
Like, come on.
Pete just smashes them.
So that, like, have a little class, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
FTR Monty LLY. Okay. Wow, man.
F the rectory. Okay. This is the level to which James has risen on this show.
Dude, look at the inspection, dude.
Chaplain White has risen on this show.
Oh, so
he's not
here.
even here today.
No, he just showed up and he's on the other account today now. So he's on his Stadium Guy account today. So, I'm losing track of how many accounts.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for the new show, Law and Order NCAA. Exactly. Welcome to the nightmare. LLY, you just start a decryption. Let's just start a decryption course here on the Monty Show. I don't understand it. It's not hip. I don't think it's hip. It doesn't make you cool. And there he is. Yeah. And James is notorious for it with his MDiv and DDiv and anal div and WTH. Right? Like you're just.
I'm just trying to get ready for work. WTH. Dude, you're the Lane Kiffin of the comments section, dude.
You really are.
Like, you've got the reputation.
No, he's the Pete Golding of the.
Yeah, actually, that's correct. You're the Pete Golding of the comments section, dude. Like, you've got, just like Pete, you've got like 8 accounts that you tamper in the comments section with, some of which wear your name, some of which do not. And, ultimately, it's something different every single day. Now, if we all remember yesterday, we were talking about how you admitted that you went full Pete Golding and had burner phones. So, I'm glad that we're making progress, but you certainly are that guy in the chat, dude. No doubt.
There can be no question. You are that guy in the chat. Lane is shady AF. Okay, but does he get caught? I mean, he gets fired on the tarmac. People. Yeah, but Muldoon, Lane just shows up to yoga class shirtless with blondes, the alpha form of tampering. If I could do it. I wore blue pants yesterday with blue Jordan 3s. It was an amazing outfit. Jake couldn't pull that off. Right. So, Oak State. Okay. Oak State will be better. Okay. WWJG. What would James do?
Go play intramurals, brother.
LMFAOLY James.
Bro. Dude. What have we done, bro? What did you do to the comment section, bro?
What area code is this phone, James? Exactly. Lemon Pepper James in on the show today.
Okay, Lemon Pepper James would be a great account name, dude.
Hi, James. James, I wish you could see the AI pic I made of you and the fellas.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, Jeremiah was in our members only group last night and made this like AI graphic. I forgot about this. He made an AI graphic of the show that included James as a certain animal in the animal kingdom. So
I wish not to know. I wish not to know. So, James, this is tampering 401. Jeremiah, I mean, I have burner accounts. Who doesn't? I can't handle one Twitter account. I don't know, because I would screw it up. I'd like tweet from the wrong account or something like
Tampering 301.
So who is going to make James Golf Club cover like Tigers? Not me. Minister James texting the priests, the rabbi, and the imam during services, trying to get them to transfer to his ministry. That's right.
Yeah.
The mullah.
Yeah, bro's tampering.
Big Daddy Magic.
Here we go.
Are you going to be Mr. Negative, everything sucks, you're an asshole guy? Or are you going to be, I don't think I can get you a park, but I'm positive we can have a Monty Show day and a nice steak at Fleming's. And I can show you my season tickets to the Jazz next year, donated by a wonderful owner. Okay. I don't eat at Fleming's.
Yeah, we didn't have a good experience at Fleming's in Salt Lake. I'm just being honest, dude. I'm not hating on you. I'm just telling you it just didn't work out for us.
But I appreciate the sentiment. Missouri fan James. Okay, there you go. Yes. MF James. Yes.
Yeah.
North Dakota State James. The ADHD helps. Okay.
Right.
I love how y'all knew it was James without me specifically having to say it was James.
It was clear.
Okay. Yeah, Magic City James.
Listen, these are all great handles that you guys could be rocking in the chat, dude. There's no reason why we can't have a Lemon Pepper James and a Magic City James. I mean, it's totally fine.
Lemon Pepper Seaman Sandwich James. Well, there's Chewy for you. The sandwich. TSJ, Texas State James.
Right.
James has commented once today. Yes, taco time, James, for sure. You and I both know if there's somebody that eats the ass out of taco time, it is James. Yeah. You and I both know it. But he's got like frequent flyer miles at taco time.
100%, dude. He's got the punch card.
LPW and MC James, exactly. James, you realized you have reached a level of stardom on the show that I don't think anybody else will ever reach, right? I don't think so.
If anyone else ever gets to this level, I mean, I don't know, dude.
I don't even know the see, the thing is, Chaplain James White, his brain some would call it a brain deformity. I would just call it genetics.
You don't always have to be negative.
It's that, I'm telling you, it's the brisket from Buc-ee's that has infected his upper cortex. The frontal temporal lobe.
Yeah, the lobe.
Does this mean James is now the star of the show? Hasn't he always been?
Well, I mean, it depends on the day, dude. I mean, let's FTR, it depends on the day, because sometimes James is the donkey of the show and other times James is the star of the show. So, I mean, it just depends.
Yeah. And unlike Big Daddy Magic, he doesn't hate BYU and then claim, oh, well, actually, he does that all the time.
Ain't no reset.
My bad. Wang Thang James, burning rubber to pick that up.
Okay.
Literally getting the multiple versions of James like Rick and Morty. Exactly. Buc-ee's brisket James. TBJ. Three ball
James. That's right.
Krispy Kreme James, Abilene James. James is next level. Don't forget about me, Christ personal enforcer.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Wow. I had forgotten about the CPE.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I did also forget about CPE, dude. So it's good to have you back.
It's not the DRE, it's the CPE.
Right.
Which is different than CTE.
Well, that doesn't exist according to Tua and Scam, Scattaboo. So
and Puka.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that coming up. Chaplain James White, the chicken sandwich at Buc-ee's is actually better than the brisket sandwich, and only you would know that. As the resident cock expert, you know all about the chicken sandwiches.
Macaque.
What?
Dude.
I mean, I'm just stating facts.
Oh man. Dude,
PB and J.
incredible.
Yeah.
By the way, James, was that take on the record or not?
It was the best of James. It was the worst of James. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. That's right.
Yay.
Yeah. Bobby Bagel has a point. Baskin Robbins James, 31 teams. Yes.
Right.
31 favorite teams.
Hi, this is James. Welcome back.
The fact that Buddy sends me. No, I'm not even.
I just want to point out this whole run we just went on all started because you chose to help a millennial yesterday.
Correct.
Just saying.
LLY, man. For them LLY millennials, man.
My bad.
All right, let's talk about a Big 12 battle royale breaking out. Now listen, you guys know.
I personally believe that my arm is tired from telling you that we know what's going on in the Big 12 before anyone else does.
I am I right all the time? I would never say that, but yeah.
FTR.
There are stories breaking in Lubbock. So remember we told you that Cody Campbell and Commissioner Yormark were not necessarily aligned, and that there are forces working behind the scenes that Brett Yormark does not agree with. And that when you look at Cody Campbell, what have I always told you about Cody Campbell? Cody Campbell's only got a seat at the table because he's got that oil money, boy.
Oh.
Right? Cody Campbell has been the bully who constantly is telling you how much money he has.
Yeah.
And you should listen to me. I have more money than you. You're stupid. I'm smart. That's a lot of times how I feel Cody Campbell talks. When he doesn't get his way, it's like, well, look how much money I have. And you're seeing this start to overflow into the public space. And there is this situation where Cody Campbell is not happy that Houston versus Texas Tech is being moved to Friday night, and that Fox and the Big 12 see it as an opportunity. Now, Cody's point is, oh, well, Friday Night Lights is an institution in the state of Texas, and we shouldn't have to play on Friday night. Cody Campbell said, quote, I heard about it through the Tech football staff up here and our administration that was being discussed. Campbell told the Avalanche Journal on March 31st, so Tuesday. The TV partners have the draft or whatever, and the conference doesn't want to really acknowledge it, but they do have an ability to influence those decisions. They just chose not to because they were chasing ratings, which I do understand on one hand, but on the other hand, high school football is important in the state of Texas. We've got a road game the week before. It's not an ideal situation for us, Texas Tech. And I think our conference should protect us more than they did. Well, why should they protect you? Why should they protect you, Cody? What do you mean? Well, then Brett Yormark shot back with Cody Campbell does not run the Big 12. And I say amen to that. I cannot continue to tell you, and I don't know where it will end, probably with the death of this conference or Brett Yormark ending up somewhere else. You hired a guy who's done a really good job for you in Brett Yormark. Let the guy do his job. And the infighting in this conference and the lack of execution in the state of Texas is holding this conference back. It is an anvil around the neck of this conference. That guys like Cody Campbell think he's entitled to decision-making powers at the conference level when, frankly, he's not. You can be your little bully in Lubbock. You can have your little oil money and your cool little hat in Lubbock. But that does not earn you privilege at the conference level. It simply does not. And I understand you're used to getting what you want, Cody. But you are becoming a bully if you're not that already. You won. Fox and the Big 12 want to give you a national spotlight on a Friday night, and it's not good enough. So it's not that Friday Night Lights is an institution. It's just that you had a road game the week before, and you think you shouldn't have to play on 6 days. On a Friday night. An in-state rivalry game with Houston, and you don't want to play that game on a Friday night. Well, good news is it's not up to you. And now we're going to find out who really carries the water in this town. Will Houston and Texas Tech play on a Friday night? I guess we'll find out. But to me, this is not a good look. This is not a good look in any way, shape, or form. It's not a good look. And I think it's bad for the conference, and I think it's bad for Cody Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last time you saw other conferences having to deal with this? Right, that'd be my first question. You compare the Big 12 to other conferences, and again, noted critic of the Big 10. I am, but you don't see Booster Guy getting out over his horse and causing problems with TV partners, and that's where I couldn't agree more. Right, like I agree with your take that, yeah, dude thinks he's got a lot of money, which means he thinks he has a lot of power in this situation. And that's just not true. That's just not true, bro. Like, just because you have money doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden, you know, the decision maker in the room and like everything's just up to you. And this is the problem we get into. And this is, in my opinion, where the culture we have right now of suing everybody was born out of. Oh, well, dude, I have more money, so I'm going to sue you to get what I want, even though what I want is not correct and probably doesn't serve the greater good in the conference.
That's right.
Right?
That's
like,
exactly right.
So like you have this guy in Cody Campbell who just the other day did an interview where he was talking about, oh, well, dude, look at all these programs that are running at $20 million deficits and all these problems in college football and making money, and we got to solve the business issues. Well, Cody, how do you say that on one hand and then throw a fit like a child when the Big 12 and its really good TV partner, Fox, are like, yeah, let's put you guys in a primetime slot on Friday night? How is that a problem, Cody? How are you? This is typically my question for Guy. This is typically my question for a guy who wants to be a hard ass in most situations. How is this the hill you're dying on, Cody Campbell? How is this the fight that you're like, man, dude, Friday night, Tech in Houston, man, I better fight this one tooth and nail till I just can't exist anymore. Why is this what you're going after, dude? Is it not like, and this is the other thing, and this is what I said to Tech fan in the middle of the season. I also said this to BYU fan at one point. And my question has always been, did you forget who you were? Did you like, and this is what happens, dude. And I'm warning Texas Tech fan about this right now, because we talked about it before. If you think that because you had one good season, you made the CFP one time, if you think somehow now you get special treatment, or somehow you're valued in college football, or somehow you're the big swinging energy in the room, if you will, you're not that guy, pal. You've been to the CFP once. You got boat raced by Oregon. Like, you're nothing special right now. Cody Campbell's not special. Texas Tech's not special. The Big 12 and the bigger picture of college football is not special. Like, you seem to think because you had one good season and you have oil money that you can just run the whole show. That's not how it works, dude. That's not how it works.
I really struggle with this, and I appreciate, as somebody that talks a lot about this conference, and we have a huge fan base in this conference, I appreciate what Cody Campbell represented. And it's stuff like this where Cody Campbell thinks because he's a billionaire, he gets more influence than everybody else. And frankly, it's emblematic of what's going on in this country. I don't care if you want to sit on your wallet, knock yourself out. But just because you have money doesn't mean you get more say in what day you play your games. What is that saying? And I'm not even talking about BYU or who's the worst football team in the Oak State. I'm not even talking about Oak State.
UCF.
I'm just talking about, I don't know, how about Houston, who's actually building and moving in the right direction? But you don't care about Houston because you're a billionaire at Texas Tech. And Texas Tech is the only decisions that matter in this conference, apparently. Right? Like, that's the problem that I have. I don't care. And this is something that guys like Cody Campbell don't want to recognize. I don't care how much money you have. Do what's best for the conference. A Houston Texas Tech game on a Friday night is really good for the conference. It's a national spotlight game. It's really good for the conference. And this is the stuff that I just...
Oh, but right. We forgot, Cody, that you don't give a damn about the Big 12. You're out for you. That's what needs to be said.
Well, and I'll continue to say, I don't think Cody Campbell does care about the Big 12. I think Cody Campbell believes that, it's me. I want us to be, it's this belief that he can make whatever he wants reality. That's what I think Cody Campbell thinks, because he's got billions. He gets to do what he wants, and Tech will go and do whatever. Clearly, they bend the knee to him and love it because he's a billionaire. And when you have money, people tend to listen to you. But as we are painfully finding out, does just because you have money, does that make you the smartest guy in the room? Because I'm telling you now, money never bought anybody intelligence.
Clearly.
And as we are finding out, yeah, it doesn't really work that way.
And what bothers me is this is public. We should have never known about this. We should have never, this should have never been brought to the light of day, dude. Like, and this is, I'm telling you, and everyone criticized us on the show. Everyone said that we don't know what we're talking about, that we're up in the night, that, we're terrible. Like, we got all the haters doing what they do best, which is hating on the show.
Yep.
When we said, hey, dude, the Big 12 is going one direction, and that direction is not in alignment with Brett Yormark's direction and vision for where this conference should go and could go and the pinnacle of what it could be in its current form. And it's guys like Cody Campbell who think that they're above it. And it really is one of the only things in life that I just have no remorse for. I don't, like, it doesn't matter to me anything that you've done in your life. If you're going to go out when you get all your money and you get your opportunity and you squander it by being selfish and only worrying about you and not thinking about anyone else's situation and not thinking about the responsibility you have now is basically the best team in the Big 12, right? Because that's what it is. You've never been here before, Cody,
Yep.
So you don't know what the hell you're supposed to be doing. And again, let me just go ahead and poke Big 12 fan in the side again over Texas and OU. Texas Tech didn't have this problem back in the day because you weren't that guy, pal. You weren't having to run the conference. You weren't having to go to the CFP back then.
Why should here's the question?
Crazy.
I guess where the rubber meets the road. Why should the Big 12 be protecting Texas Tech instead of looking out for the best interests of the conference? Why would it? That makes no sense. You're allegedly the best football team in the conference. They want to showcase you on a Friday night in a game that is one of the better matchups in the state of Texas with Houston. And you're saying, no, I don't want to Friday Night Lights. And then it's not Friday Night Lights. Now it's that it's a 6-day and we play that following week. And
do you think the Big 12 gives a damn about high school football in your state? Like,
no.
Nobody cares, dude. Like, nobody cares. This is my point, dude. Like, it really bothers me that the take was, oh, well, Friday Night Lights and high school football and that matters more than the Big 12 on Friday night with Texas Tech and Houston.
This is the same guy who is paying a quarterback to leave a school and then not making him pay his exit clause at Cincinnati.
Yeah.
The same rules don't apply to Cody Campbell. Cody just does what he wants. Look at his cool hat. Like, I get to go to the White House. That's cool. Brendan Sorsby should pay Cincinnati the $1 million he owes him contractually. This is not rocket science, but apparently it is. Because when you have money, you don't have to pay your debts, right? TCU James left hand for $2. Texas Tech dodging Friday like it's defense.
Dude. Bro, TCU James left hand.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to find that strange, right?
Bro, where's Holly Rose right hand in the comment section, dude? Like, come on.
We can't go anywhere, including college sports, without running into billionaire entitlement.
Couldn't agree more, dude. Could not agree more. And by the way, on a day when we started the show talking about tampering,
by the way,
yeah, BT Dub, is it any surprise that we're sitting here talking about, corruption and collusion and wanting power and I have money, so do what the hell I want you to do, even though nobody cares about Lubbock, nobody cares about Texas in a business standpoint like that in the conference. Like I don't get it, dude. Like, I really don't understand how Cody Campbell went from cute little entrepreneur story to now thinking he runs the Big 12. I don't get it. Like, where did you get off thinking that high school football was more important than the Big 12?
And again, I'm just going to tell you, this is the kind of shit that will cost the Big 12 Brett Yormark. Because Cody Campbell, my guess is Cody Campbell, in all of his infinite wisdom, would be rich guys like rich guys. And my guess is Cody Campbell would be in favor of private equity.
I'm sure he would. Yeah.
My guess is that when we start getting into these private equity deals that Brett Yormark has said, wrong decision, don't do it. This would be a mistake. And everybody in the conference is like, nope, we need to, the guy who's guided you, you hired him to advise you and guide you forward and tell you how to operate. And he's done that. And he's made you more money than you've ever made. He got you a TV deal. He put you in position, and then he didn't cause expansion with BYU and the others, but he executed that expansion, brought you into this new era. Now he tells you no once, and Buddy's sitting on his wallet wants to tell you, "Not, we're going to do it because I said so." This is the kind of stuff that will cost you Brett Yormark, because Brett Yormark doesn't care how much money you have. He cares how much money the conference has, which is exactly his job. It's exactly his job. Yet we have to deal with people who in Koresh country don't want to win football games. They don't want to win basketball games. They don't do everything that they can do. You have to deal with people in Salt Lake up at the U who want to fire Kyle Whittingham, and they want to lowball him and take all his power away. So then he just leaves the conference and goes to Michigan. So Utah made the Big Ten a better conference that day. It's incompetence like that. It's the Ollie Gordon stuff. It's the Sonny Dykes stuff. It's like the list is endless. The list is endless.
Iowa State.
Right? Like you have no football program in Ames right now.
Bro, how much better did the Big 12 make the Big 10? Like, legitimately.
Quite a bit better.
Like, Michigan's going to be better. Penn State's going to be better.
And I'll continue to say the Big 12 is a feeder conference.
Yep.
I have said that, and I know that pisses people off when I say that because I always hear about it in the comment section. But I'm going to continue to tell you until people like Cody Campbell begin to understand he doesn't run this town. Cody Campbell doesn't run the Big 12. Maybe Cody Campbell, everybody's scared of Cody Campbell and his money, and maybe everybody, likes, Cody Campbell, and, they're all hoping in Lubbock that he'll buy them, some biscuits and gravy, boy. Hey, that's all well and good in Lubbock. That's not well and good for the rest of the conference. That's not well and good in Fort Worth. That's not well and good in Provo or Salt Lake City or Orlando or Cincinnati or Manhattan or Lawrence or all the other corners of this conference that actually need Cody Campbell to be a team player, instead of trying to fight everything that the conference does. Because I feel like that's who Cody Campbell is. And frankly, I'm worn out on it. Yeah. I've told you this before. I am worn out on Cody Campbell.
Yeah, as you should be.
I just am. I'm worn out on it. And I want it to be, and I want it to be well, and it's just not. Looks like you guys are probably right about the Pac versus Mountain West court battle. In what sense? There was some discovery rulings this week, and the Mountain West won a couple. The Pac-12 fans, again, with all due respect, you guys all standing on your, oh my God, Discovery. Okay, cool. Discovery, awesome. Like, let it play out. Now you're in court and you're paying lawyers, so let it play out. Monty, it would be Rosa's Cafe, not disquieting Garvey. Okay. Rosa's Cafe in Lubbock. Let's do it. Biscuits and gravy. Okay, my bad. Okay. It'd be Rosa's Cafe, similar. not biscuits and gravy. Well, that disquieting Garvey, but that's a greasy spoon. They'll have you coming out of both ends at disquieting Garveys. You want to stay away. Where else is Cody and Tech going to go? The ACC? They are Big 12 for life. Well, act like it. Act like it.
But see, he didn't have that allegiance. See, Kenneth, with all due respect, dude, that's where you discount Cody Campbell. He didn't have that allegiance, dude. He doesn't have. He's not saying, oh, it's the Big 12, man. We got to do right by the conference. Like, this is a great thing. Like, it's Friday night, primetime, Tech, Houston, great for the state of Texas. This guy's out here talking about high school football being more important than the Big 12. Like, with all due respect, dude, you lost all credibility with that take. If you're going to sit here and tell me that high school football,
Campbell did.
Yeah, Cody Campbell did. If you're going to sit here and try to make the argument that high school football takes the precedent over Division I, Power 4 college football, you're out of your damn mind. And without knowing factually, let me go out on a limb and wonder, hey, did that high school football game make Cody Campbell money? Does Cody have a stake in the high school football situation? Why else would he be doing this? But right, like what other motivation would there be for Cody Campbell, the biggest booster at Texas Tech, who wants to run everything in their mom in college football right up to the White House? Why would he be so committed to a high school football game that means nothing to his business ventures? Oh, that's right, because it does mean something to his business ventures, I'm sure.
Yeah. Chewy, say what you will about KW leaving Utah, Kyle Whittingham, but I'm glad Scally's the guy now. A lot of us believe in him and know he's Utah through and through. Nobody questions whether Morgan Scally's Utah through and through.
Bro,
you don't run a guy like Kyle Whittingham out of his office. Furthermore, if you wanted Kyle Whittingham to retire, okay, have that conversation. But what you can't do is lowball him, take all of his power and authority over the football program away, and then when he leaves and takes another job, tell him you're not going to pay him. That's what you can't do. There's no common sense in Kyle Whittingham can't be our football coach anymore. There's no common sense in it. And if you think that Utah today is better off without Kyle Whittingham for having Morgan Scally, I don't know what program you're looking at.
Yeah.
You're not in a better position today than you were a year ago.
Why are you glad Scally's the guy now? I've never heard a single Utah fan be able to explain this concept to me of why Morgan Scally is somehow a better fit for Utah than K-Dub was. And furthermore, to steal one of Monty's takes from when the K-Dub stuff came out, I think the best point that's been made about the whole situation is, if you were going to run dude out of his office, why didn't you do it after that terrible ass season? Why did you give him yet another season? Right? Like they go, what were they? Or they like a 3-5 win team or whatever it was? The year where Cam gets hurt at Baylor, and you just have a dreadful season, and you've got Wilson as your quarterback, Zach's brother, and it just was a disaster. You're basically trying to win games with defense alone. Why didn't you get rid of him after that season? Who thought it was a good idea to keep him and then run him out after he just dropped a 10-win season, dude? Like that's what I don't understand. So the logic of, hey, well, we're say what you will about K-Dub leaving. I'm glad Scally's the guy now. A lot of us believe in him. Here's the problem, Chewy. Just because you believe in bro doesn't mean that bro is going to deliver results. Like, yeah, I'm on the record saying, again, OTR, your defense is going to be good, dude. Yeah,
it's on video.
I did a video last week about the fact that Utah's defense is going to be probably the same quality as it had been because Scally was running that thing for the most part. But your offense is the problem. Your special teams is the problem. Everyone just seems to forget Kyle Whittingham-led football teams are notorious for having elite special teams play, elite defensive play, and mediocre offensive play. So I just think that Utah fans got to be really careful when you say things like, well, he's Utah through and through. I'm glad he's our guy. Just because he's Utah through and through doesn't mean that he's going to win you ball games, dude. Like, come on.
Yep. Brent sends me a DM on TikTok about the Pac-12. The Pac-12 dominated in court yesterday. What are you talking about? Okay. You guys make my head hurt. I understand that Pac-12 fan, and I guess we're just going to roll because I think Pac-12 and Cody Campbell,
talk about it.
I think this is very similar. Okay. So you guys know the Pac-12 and the Mountain West are in litigation. And I think their trial is heading to like 2027. Like, we're not close to a resolution. The Pac-12 asked for the Mountain West's cases and charges to be kicked out. A judge ruled the judge on this case, and let me read the text from one of my guys. The judge ruled in our favor that we could continue with tortious interference and unjust enrichment. We lost the claim on promissory note fraud, which was assumed. Yeah. So essentially, the judge said she believes there's merit in the Mountain West countersuing the Pac-12 for tortious interference and unjust enrichment. That is the single biggest win to date in this process. The judge also granted Pac-12 access to documents, emails, discovery that the Mountain West had been fighting. But the Pac-12 was so certain that this case was going to be dismissed. And when a judge says, I see merit in these counterclaims, I'm allowing them to continue, that's an awfully difficult. Do you guys understand that when you look at tortious interference, the punitive damages on tortious interference would be devastating. It would be devastating. And it is essentially, and I want to read you the legal definition of tortious interference. It's damages against a defendant who wrongfully and intentionally interferes with the plaintiff's contractual or business relationships. So the grounds of that is the Pac-2 entered into a scheduling agreement with the Mountain West with no good faith basis to honor that agreement that included poaching fees. This is not rocket science.
And I think one thing that people always forget is that there's precedent around when a ruling overall about the entirety of the case would actually be made. So like 9 times out of 10 in court cases like this, you're not going to get a ruling before you've gone fully into presenting your entire case with all of your evidence and everything. So we're still at this stage where these two are battling to get a footing to get to that stage. And so Pac-12 fan is like, oh, well, dude, bro, they're letting the case go forward. We dominated in court. Yeah, but you understand that they're only allowing it to go forward because that's kind of the precedent, right? That's what you do. You allow it to move forward to the stage where then, hey, we're going to present everything. We're going to hear both sides, for and against. And then we will make an official ruling and decide who pays what and how all this works. So I think that, again, this case is one of the rare cases in life where nothing is, the merits of the case are not going to change. The merits are the merits. The reality is you signed an agreement that you didn't intend to honor, that included poaching fees, that you will at some point pay. Like, you can just write that down. You're going to pay in some form or fashion an amount related to those poaching fees.
You will settle this.
Yeah.
You will settle this because you cannot afford to go to court and lose. And I think the Pac-12 will go to court and lose. No doubt.
I just want to keep pointing out, like, again, if you look at risk versus reward here, right? Who has all the risk? Not the Mountain West. The Mountain West is the aggrieved party here, right? The Mountain West is the one saying, hey, you did this to us. The Pac-12 is the one who initiated all the movement, who did the poaching, who did
and keep suing people.
Yeah, and keep suing people. And so the Mountain West just continues to move forward, to expand, to reaffirm its position with its TV partners. Like, I think that Pac-12 fan, much like any other fan, is so committed to the Pac-12 winning and we're amazing and we're the best and never seen a conference like it and the best there ever was, that you're just going to continue to hear that narrative.
Yeah.
But if you really look at the merits of the case, I would be shocked, man. I like, it wouldn't surprise me if maybe the court was like, Yeah, you don't have to pay all of the poaching fee. Like, we're going to find a middle ground here that allows like some of these schools to move forward a little bit, but you're definitely going to have to pay something, and that's where I think it lands.
Chewy Gonzalez, because he's younger and more energized than Kyle Whittingham, Kyle was thinking he would be strategic about injuries and hiding stuff. Scally's more transparent by allowing media to be a little more present. Well, I don't know what their media strategy has to do with it. And as far as Morgan being younger and more energized, and this is the part that I think you have to come to grips with. He has zero experience being a head football coach. Zero. And the things that you don't know that you have to deal with are usually the things that define you early in your tenure as a head coach. And now, and I think the bigger issue is, I think you have to question the leadership of Mark Harlan, the athletic director at Utah. I think you have to question his leadership. And so you have a coach that's never been a head coach, and you have an athletic director who, I think you got humiliated by the release of the information around Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah.
You got humiliated. And I think that's a huge problem. And when Scally stepped up to be the head coach, we didn't have huge losses of players. Do you mean quantity-wise? Is that what that means? The only big loss was J.J. Buchanan. Smith Stoden. So Daly wasn't a loss. What did Daly, I'd have to look up his numbers, but didn't he have 12 sacks last year? Are you telling me the defensive lineman, Jordan Leah, that's your best defensive lineman, and you've lost one to BYU and now one to Michigan.
How about Celeste Moa? Any concern over losing a 4-star wide receiver recruit in a program that traditionally doesn't have good wide receivers or good offense?
Yeah, we'll see about yeah.
See, that's what I mean, Chewy. Like, I'm not trying to come after you, bro, but you're not
Wait,
being honest.
Isn't Celeste Moa a DB? He's a DB, not a wide receiver.
Well, at one point he was a wide receiver, so maybe he converted. But
I could be wrong. Okay, yeah, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is a wide receiver. I don't know. All I'm saying is you lose a guy like John Henry Daly. I think your losses were John Henry Daly, Smith Snowden, J.J. Buchanan, Jordan Leah, and Celeste Moa. Those 5 losses, along with your coaching staff and infrastructure, those are huge losses. You don't just replace those dudes.
Dude, look at how Google, I just did a basic Google search on Celeste Moa just to confirm that that's what he did. And look at how Google categorizes the loss for Utah. Moa's move to Michigan is considered a significant loss for Utah's 26th class, as he was a highly touted in-state prospect expected to make an immediate impact. That's just Google AI like generally describing the loss, dude. So all I'm saying, man, is you're a Utah fan, clearly, and I don't have a problem with that. But if you want to talk about your team and your program, we need to be honest, and you need to be transparent, and you need to live in reality. And I agree that based on your schedule, there is a path to having a good season. I agree with that. You have a very gettable schedule.
Yes, you do.
At the same time, though, also, when you have a gettable schedule, if you don't have a good season, if you're, let's say you're bowl eligible, but you're not competitive in the conference or the CFP, like if you're 7 wins, like that's going to be a problem. And I understand it's year one, so there's going to be the excuses. Okay, it's year one. All right, cool. But what's the leash? At what point does bro having 0 experience as a head coach make people start saying, yeah, you know what? Like, maybe we do need to hire someone who is more qualified. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, that's my concern, dude. And I don't want that to be the case. Like, I hope Morgan has a great season. I hope that it all works out. But I just, dude, we do this show every day. We cover hundreds of teams, hundreds of situations. Like, this is not my first time around the block. I've seen this before. you see coaches come in, they leave, new coach, like, again, Pete Golding. How inexperienced are you, brother? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy that replaces Kyle Whittingham at Utah.
Yeah.
I think those are big shoes to fill because he did it the right way the entire time. That's the part that you can't forget. He did it the right way the entire time. Not part of the time, not some of the time. The entire flipping time at Utah, Kyle Whittingham was clean as a whistle. Took you to back-to-back Rose Bowls, didn't win them. Totally get it. Yeah, sure. Did he ever have a quarterback? No. Did he prioritize skill positions on offense? No. Puts dudes in the NFL, wins big games, and his defense is always elite. And then he went and got Jason Beck and had one of the best offenses in the entire country. And then you fired him.
And I don't want to hear Utah fan continue to rip Kyle Whittingham for the loss of players and coaches due to you running him out of there. That's not on him.
That's not his fault. It's not his fault. But anyway, we've asked and answered, I think. But Chewy, always good to talk to you about it. Always good. I'm confused. Why was Pac-12 dude declaring victory during Discovery? Because the Mountain West did not want to give the Pac-12 access to their communications around the poaching stuff. And the judge said you have to turn it over. And this is oh my God, the ESPN contract. There's fraud in the ACC.
It's a smoking gun.
That's what this is. But we'll see what's in those communications. Maybe there is a smoking gun. We have no idea what they were talking about behind the scenes. Right? And again, I try to tell certain people, yeah, don't email me. Don't text me. Get on WhatsApp. You want to talk about there's reasons people don't put stuff in emails. It's called discovery. Right? And it's what this always happens. Every major court case, a lot of wins and losses are around discovery. A lot of wins and losses. So we'll see. Besides Prime, most college football head coaches started in lower coaching spots on college teams, but has to learn the job. Are you telling me that Prime didn't? Jackson State? I think he did. So, but yeah, I mean, to recap this story with the Big 12, I just think that the Civil War, this spat breaking out between Cody Campbell and Brett Yormark is a big, big deal. And it's one that you should watch. And as part of this, the other one you should watch, this guy right here. Because if this is true, and this is actually happening in Tucson, because Tommy Lloyd, I think Tommy Lloyd's one of the best coaches in all of college basketball. I know I'm out on a limb there, right? But hey, Tommy, are you going to North Carolina?
There's going to be a great coach after me. I know you've made similar comments like that before about the program history, but some people were taking that to think, well, maybe he's going to go. So what do you make of that, and has anything changed, being as there still is talk out there?
It's absolutely true. There's going to be another coach. This is a great program. I didn't say when. I mean, and people are going to speculate all they want. Guys, this team has my full focus. Nothing, I promise you nothing is knocking me off that path. And you guys might call them distractions because you're distracted. That doesn't mean I'm distracted or we're distracted. You know what's pretty cool? Once you get some experience in this deal and you're a player or you're a coach who's been at it a while, you get pretty good at, eliminating the distractions. So I think I'm pretty good at that. And I just can't wait to get to practice today. I'm going to go meet with the staff right now. We're probably a little bit late. That's why Nate's pushing me to get up there. And I'm going to go try to have a good practice.
Oh, I love Tucson. I'm staying. I'm committed to Arizona. I am,
this is where I want to be. My family loves it here.
I'm passionate about the kids are in school. I could never imagine leaving. I got to get to practice. They're waiting for me. I'm telling you, So stack this Cody Campbell, Brett Yormark thing. Kyle Whittingham to Michigan. Matt Campbell to Penn State. Like, add to the list. Tommy Lloyd's battling with the administration at Arizona. And we've been talking about this, and I've been asking a lot of people, why is Tommy Lloyd not committing to Arizona, sitting up in press conferences the last week and a half? Because he's had multiple opportunities. It's not the only press conference where he was asked about it. And he's going to be asked about it again. And I would remind you, I don't know if you guys know this, Arizona's got a couple of important games left.
What?
I know. Big games, NCAA tournament championships and stuff. You think the guys in Tucson need the money that would come with winning a national championship? I think they do. And now it comes out, and it sounds like, and I could be wrong about this, but it sounds like to me that Tommy Lloyd doesn't love his bosses in Tucson. And just kind of chatting up and talking with, amongst others, Marcus, our TV buddy, and it sounds like North Carolina wants, and I don't know where the process is, but North Carolina wants to talk serious money with Tommy Lloyd. And I think that, and I should have looked before the show today, but I think it is going to be very interesting to see, and there's not really an update, but the other day you heard Dusty May was allegedly going to be the next head coach at North Carolina once the tournament was over.
Yeah.
Why hasn't North Carolina hired anybody yet? Oh, that's right. Their candidates are still coaching.
Yep.
And I think that Tommy Lloyd is in that. And I think that's a big to-do. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's interesting that, that we won't know anything about it because they are still coaching. And I think that North Carolina, I wouldn't complain about Tommy Lloyd or Dusty May as hires. I think they're both superior hires to Nate Oates. I think that they are really quality. I think you're seeing performance. I think you're seeing really good, prepared, well-educated basketball being played out of both of these programs. And as much, again, as I despise Michigan, I think that they're playing good basketball, and I think they deserve credit for that. And, Arizona, I don't know what he's feeding them or what's in the water, but to be shooting the way they're shooting, to be playing the way they're playing, both of these guys would be phenomenal hires, man. And both of these guys are the kind of hire that Chapel Hill needs. And I think that you have to get to a place at UNC where the head coach is no longer a problem. And you were in that place with Roy Williams, and you haven't been in that place since. And I think that's the challenge. And
Hubert was fine the first 2 years.
Yeah, but it's
and
UNC.
Had they actually won a couple of tournament games this year, he'd still be there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that he was never going to be a 10-year guy. He was never going to be
that. I agree with.
He was never going to be. It's unfair to compare him to Roy Williams, but like he just was never going to be that guy that was like a long-standing staple of UNC basketball. He was definitely the guy that was like an intermediary, hold the post for a few years until we find the guy that we'd like to be here for like 15 years. So, I just think it's what they need to do. Dusty May and Tommy Lloyd are both quality hires. Wouldn't complain one bit. Would have full expectation that UNC would be right back in the tournament again next year with either of those two at the helm. So yeah, I think it's funny that these guys, and we talked about this with Dillingham, last year, and like these guys just won't say, hey, I'm 100% committed to this job. I'm staying here.
Because they're not.
Say that. I know. But I just, that game's always funny.
Tommy Lloyd, my guess is Tommy Lloyd wants to be at Arizona. That'd be my guess. I think there's dysfunction inside that basketball program. And I think that you're going to have to find a way. And usually it means you're going to have to spend more money, right? You're going to have to add layers of management. if Tommy Lloyd stays there, my guess is they will add layers of management to the basketball department, because that's the only way Buddy's going to be happy with it, because it sounds like he doesn't get the kind of attention and things that he needs. So we'll find out. Mike Smith, I turned 56 this month. I need West Virginia. I need a West Virginia full zip jacket. Mike's been a member for 32 months.
Mike, that's great, dude. I hope you get your full zip jacket, and I hope that it all works out for you, bro. Really, I do.
Yeah, I will never, based on the way that Big Daddy Magic has acted and the red assery from Big Daddy Magic, I'll never buy anybody anything ever again.
Yeah, we're not in the process or business of buying merch, because as soon as dude, got his, 10X hoodie, bro went full heel and was like, full red ass mode for like 3 weeks here, and is, slowly but surely turning it around.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I think it'll be interesting. Penn State Sports Talk. UNC would be foolish not to take the Arizona head coach. Yeah, and you guys were foolish to keep Joe Paterno and Jerry Sandusky when they were assaulting children. So, yeah, about foolish coaches and stuff. So,
yeah, good job, dude.
Enjoy that construction on Epstein Island, bud. FTR. Mike, I don't know what for the record means.
Yeah, what does
I think
that mean?
It's FTR. Is that what you meant to say? Was just joking about the jacket, Mike. I know.
Okay, in the chat, are you team zip up or team pullover?
Nobody would want a West Virginia zip jacket. Nobody. Okay. Are you team
zip up or team pullover?
I'm team starter jacket. Dude, Mike, how sweet would a West Virginia starter jacket be?
That'd be nice.
That, or I've seen a retro West Virginia, the baseball jackets that are like the silky looking ones? Oh, with the big WV logo on the back in gold. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Oh, those were the days, dude, right?
So this Cody Campbell thing is making its way around Twitter, and people are starting to share their opinions. And John Kurtz went on this thing where he's like, he's against Cody Campbell's stance on this, dude. Like, he's against it, saying that it's not what's best for the Big 12 to be, that going to Friday nights is obviously, playing that game on Friday night is obviously what's best for it. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, dude. I think that this is not going over well for Cody and company.
No.
It's getting a ton of negative backlash.
No, not at all. And I just continue to say, I don't, it just doesn't matter to me that Cody Campbell wants you to know he's rich. I don't care. I don't care, Cody. Your money, the problem is you're only relevant because of your money. That's it. That's it. You're not relevant because you've done things. You've paid a bunch of people, man. It's how Indiana won football games. I'm here for it. I totally get it. But it's tweets like this. Everything runs through Lubbock. Yeah, it doesn't. Turns out, I know it's crazy. Turns out it doesn't. Turns out it doesn't. And it's guys like Cody Campbell who will never have value outside of their net worth. And Cody Campbell would retort to that, well, sounds like a guy who doesn't have money. Maybe you're right. Maybe if I was a billionaire, I'd have value. My only value in existence would be in my billions. Okay, cool. I'd rather be me than you. I'd rather, I just don't, this nonsense we've gotten into this place in society now where everybody wants to throw their wallets around. I could not care less. It's not possible to care less than I do about your wealth. And sadly, the only reason we know the name Cody Campbell is because of your wealth. Do something for the greater good outside of your wealth. Use your wealth to make the Big 12 a better conference, because you're not doing that now. You're not doing that now. And I know you want to argue and say you probably are. You're not. I can tell you it's not probably. You're not making the Big 12 a better conference right now.
Couldn't agree more, dude.
You're just not. right? Like I just am. I'm at the end of my rope with billionaires telling us how much,
How great they are and how perfect everything is.
Yeah, I think Kurtz was team camp. I think I don't get to watch a lot of John's stuff, unfortunately, because I think he's very good. But I think wasn't he in favor of the private equity deal? I think he was in favor of the smash cap deal. Kurtz was. So it's just not. It is what it is. Rock and rant. Cody Campbell, nobody knows college football like me. I know everything about the Big 12. Only I can fix it. People are saying that. And they were saying that. Do you think when Cody Campbell walks into a room, they play like music and they have drummers and everybody stands up and applauds?
Salutes.
Same thing. And people hate him and they just can't tell him that. I wonder if that's the case.
So I said, yeah.
Very curious. Very curious. They come up to me and say, Cody, please save the Big 12. Mommy, please. Right?
Mommy, please take me home.
I told him the Jets hoodie was the way to go. I'm team pullover, dude. I'm team pullover. I'm quarter zip guy. I know it's shocking. You're really stunned
I really
to
like
hear
your
that.
black shirt today, dude. It looks
Thank
really
you.
good.
Well, it's St. Patrick's Day, so I went back to the green.
Yeah.
But I am, I don't have an MDiv or anything, so, I'm team quarter zip guy.
It vexes me.
I'm terribly vexed.
Yeah.
Terribly vexed.
I'm team quarter zip guy. You want to hand me, dude? I'll melt down over the Bears in a few minutes, but you want to hand me a Chicago Bears starter jacket, the quarter zip with the big pocket on the front? Yes. Yeah. When I think of that stuff, I remember back in the days when Monty was just a little high schooler guy and starter jackets were a big thing and condoms remember when Magnum condoms were cool? And I could tell you stories, yes, he was in favor of Smash. Jawline John is a good watch.
Okay, I don't know where Jawline John came from, dude.
Is a good watch.
But
okay.
Yes, I would agree that John does quality work. No question.
No doubt about it. I knew a guy that was so poor that all he had was his money. There you go.
See, that's what I mean. And we always get to this place. Like, I feel like we kind of talked about this with Tiger yesterday about like the money and like, the opportunity and the resources and the kind of life you're living.
Yeah.
And I always find myself wanting to ask these dudes, like, what if you were actually using your money to move the Big 12 forward? Like, what if you partnered with Brett instead of fought Brett? Like, what if you said, yeah, like we had one good season. We have a process here that yielded us a good season. How can we take that process and help the conference? What can we do? What you know what I mean? Like, that's what I don't get about these guys is that it's just all about them and they're super selfish and like it's like the guy dying on the hill over the Sports Broadcasting Act and all that. Like, nobody understood that one either, Cody.
Nice
like,
TV commercials there, dude.
Yeah.
Nice TV commercials there.
Like, come on.
David Persons, my understanding is that Coach Lloyd and Desiree Reed-Francois can barely stay in the same room together. Well, when you don't like your athletic director and you don't like your management, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And I think Sheer had a story on that a couple of weeks ago about their relationship. I could be wrong. And I'm trying to look it up, and of course I won't be able to find it. But yeah, Desiree, it's tough when you don't like your athletic director.
I just thought that you would appreciate me treating you like an adult.
And that's why I say I think you're probably going to have layers of management. That's how when a head coach of a major sport, football or basketball, doesn't like the athletic director.
Are we talking about Arizona here, or are we talking about Utah? I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Apparently, when you don't like your athletic director, you all of a sudden hire new associate athletic directors because that's how you deal with this.
It is what it is.
Or you end up at North Carolina, which would be a huge loss for this conference.
Again, what did you just say 20 minutes ago, dude? It's a feeder conference, brother. That's what it is. Like,
unfortunately, that's the reality of it.
There's no way around it. That's what the Big 12 is now, dude. They're a feeder conference to, right now, the Big 10, but before the Big 10, the SEC. I mean, how else do you characterize Texas and OU to the SEC? And then you double down on that, with all these coaches leaving for the Big 10. I mean, it is what it is at this point. Like, we're just seeing an exodus, I feel like. If he goes to UNC, the next day we will talk about this conference having an exodus of massive talent going to other conferences, dude. And if you're going to continue to do that, don't try to make me believe that this conference is going to be in existence in 15 years, because it's not. Because either there will be a new entity or the conference will melt down and we will have consolidation.
Yeah, I think it is going to be very interesting to see, right? Like, is this like how Les Miles told Oak State he wasn't leaving? I don't know what this has to do with Oak State. Why don't you stick to Sonny Dykes not leaving TCU?
Yeah, I thought you were a TCU fan, dude.
Then 2 days later, he was at LSU and said, "Oh, I love it here." Stillwater sucks, bro.
Listen, we can break out the old Roy Williams, "Hey, I'm not interested in the UNC job" clip if you want. I mean, we can educate you on what Roy Williams did back in the day. But I'm just telling you, dudes are never honest about their actual intentions while they're chasing the job. They're just not.
Yeah. Yeah, she was not well liked at UNLV. I would agree with that. I think a good portion of the KW getting run was the AD was tired of him being bigger than the program. Hard to have power when you answer to your employee. Well, I have really, and I don't know, Brandon, you're probably more in tune with it than I am, but I've lost a lot of respect for what's going on at Utah. It's amazing to me.
Did Witt not earn that stature?
Mark Harlan has made some really bad decisions the last 2 years. Really bad decisions. Yes, the Roy Williams clip would prove my point.
Okay, well, I don't know that it's your point, dude. I think that it's everybody's point.
Yeah, like, come on, dude. What are you talking about?
Address this issue during the week, but many people out there with the game over want to know what your level of interest is in the North Carolina job, Coach.
Bonnie, I could give a flip about what those people want. As a journalist, you have to ask that question. I understand that, but as a human being, that's all those people that want that answer to know right now, they're not very sensitive.
If they offer you the job, though, would you be willing to take it?
I haven't thought about that for 1 second. And the guy in your ear that told you have to ask that question, as a journalist, that's fine. But as a human being, that's not very nice, because it's not very sensitive. And I got to think that in tough times that people should be more sensitive. I could give about North Carolina right now. I've got 13 kids in that locker room that I love.
Oh. Don't think he ever went back in the locker room. Pretty sure the jet was on the runway. Flying off to North Carolina. You listen to these guys. They're in no-win situations. Yeah. And it's the thing that really bothers me about guys like Cody Campbell. Cody Campbell doesn't have to talk, yet he does, right?
Average budget deficit in FBS among those 136 schools is $20 million per school per year.
Wow.
So completely unsustainable. In order to help pay for football, because football and men's basketball are the only ones that make any money, the money that those two sports make go to pay for the women's sports and the Olympic sports. And so what schools, unfortunately, are having to do is make the decision. They say, well, we have to protect our cash cow. We also have to protect the sport that gives us the exposure that we need to attract students, and, it's our advertising. So we have to be as competitive as possible in football, so we have to give them all the resources they need. Well, in order to do that, we're going to have to free up budget space. And so they start making the decision to cut sports. And it's all the non-revenue sports. It's track, it's baseball, it's softball, it's swimming, it's gymnastics, it's soccer, things like that matter to a lot of people and provide opportunity to a lot of kids and are very important to the country, but if you're just running an athletic department purely like a business, you're going to cut them. That is the biggest challenge that we face, is solving that business problem.
Okay, P4 teams are not being cut. Second of all, if you were solely worried about what's best for college sports, you'd be playing that game on Friday night happily, instead of calling out your commissioner and saying that you need to be protected. What do you need to be protected from? Oh, I know. Texas Tech needs to be protected from you, buddy. I think that Cody Campbell has put himself in a place where he believes that he's beyond reproach, and it's his way or the highway. And that's just not the way this game is played.
And so now he's fear mongering and, saying that people are going to have to cut programs and yada, yada, yada. And it just, I also think it's rich that dude has zero experience in college athletics. Like, it's not like this guy has been an administrator for 30 years and
he's a billionaire.
Like, you couldn't have, like, it's literally not possible to have less credibility on the business of college athletics than Cody Campbell has. Like, just because you were good in the oil and energy space doesn't mean that you can then come over here and be like, yeah, dude, I know how to pump oil out of the ground, and our process is green energy. But that then makes me qualified to speak on what a business model that these schools have been running for 100 years or however long it's been. Like, you're not, dude. Like, I just the day that I get to a place in my life where I have enough money to not need the public will be the day that we disappear. And we've said that repeatedly. And I'm telling you, it's not the fact that he's got the money. It's how he behaves now that he has the money. And it's the tale as old as time, dude. Mm-hmm. And it's just these guys that want to talk and talk and talk and do all these nefarious things. Let me get this right, Cody. You're going head-to-head with Brett Yormark, the commissioner of your conference. I'd understand. You want to go after Greg. You want to go after Tony or Jim. Okay, those are other conferences, right? That's not going to hurt you. You do you. You're going after Brett Yormark here, dude.
But he won't go after Greg Sankey. And why won't he go after Greg Sankey? Because Greg Sankey's close to Nick Saban and Donald Trump. Cody Campbell's friends with Nick Saban and Donald Trump. They're all in the same circle. Brett Yormark's the guy who is like-minded. Brett Yormark, and it's been described to me several different ways, but Brett Yormark and Greg Sankey have a very good relationship. But they're not like, hey, man, you want to go? Let's go hang out. They're not
boys.
They're not boys. Exactly right. Exactly right. Exactly. Yes, Rock and Rant. Every good head coach in college football is bigger than the athletic director, and should be. The athletic director, and this is, again, Mark Harlan has never understood this. You need to be invisible.
Yeah.
Good athletic directors. How often did you ever hear from Tom Holmoe?
Greg Byrne.
How often do you hear from Greg Byrne? You never hear from them, nor should you. The football program's only job is to bring kids to the school to go to pay tuition. That's it. You're not, yes, you're recruiting football players, but you're recruiting students. You look at the football teams that win national championships, go look at the waterfall effect on their enrollment. Significant.
When's the last time you heard from Ross Bjork?
Right? Like, you don't, because they're not supposed to be the face of the university. The football coach is. The president's not. The football coach is. At North Carolina, the basketball coach is. At Duke, it's Sean Shire. It's Cooper Flagg. Right? Like, guys like Cody Campbell can't stay off a TV. That's when you know a guy isn't actually an operator, when they can't stay off a TV. They won't stay out of the newspaper. They won't stay off the radio. Stop doing interviews. Stop going on podcasts. Shut your mouth.
Stop going on X.
Shut your mouth and build something. But billionaires can't do that because they're addicted to the fame that the money brings them. That's the biggest issue. Oh, Chewy, don't get into Manti's girlfriend.
Family.
Well, she wasn't real.
And I want that known.
You can't get in. She's not real. Poor choice of words.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I'm going to move on. Welcome to the nightmare. Roy Williams already had his Carolina blue sport coat. Yeah, it was in the jet.
Oh.
Angry Phil Venzer, my vacation is coming up April 24th. I'll be watching your Cubs versus the Dodgers and Padres. Play your Cubs. So don't blame me if the Cubs go 0-6.
Glad you lived up to the brand, dude.
Stay hard.
If the Cubs go 0-6. Did you see your Raiders sign Kirk Cousins today? Yeah, they're drafting Fernando Mendoza. You can just mark that down. That is a very smart signing. That's exactly what you should be doing, in my opinion. Very smart.
Tom Brady is working.
It's a tale old as time. Power dynamics at any level. When the employee is bigger than the name on the front of the uni, becomes the face and tries to get them out. Look at LeBron as an example.
Yeah.
Could
but
be.
again, here's I agree with you, Brandon. But again, as Monty was just talking about, dude, you don't hear from Greg Byrne very much. It's rare. You don't hear from Ross Bjork very much. It's rare. I believe it was in January he did an interview that we had talked about a little bit. But before that, you hadn't heard from him in ages. You don't hear from these guys. And my problem is that look at what's taken place for Utah here. Like, take Kyle Whittingham out of it from the sense that we're talking about Mark Harlan. So you have the meltdown over the Holy War. Then Mark goes on Twitter after that recruit that enrolled and then de-enrolled.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Kyle Whittingham thing took place. Then all the info and the emails and stuff around Kyle Whittingham come out. Dude, all we've been hearing about at Utah is Mark Harlan. That's all we've been hearing about, dude.
Bad, and they're all bad.
Over and over. Yeah, like, we're not talking about like campus expansion or, the men's basketball team making the tournament, which still hasn't happened under Mark. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater on Mark Harlan, but I'm not really in a position where I can come up with something positive, dude. Like, what? Like, the best, I just want to keep pointing this out with all due respect to Utah, man. You guys understand that the pinnacle of your success in athletics that I'm aware of most recently was that your softball team went to the Women's College World Series in 23. You understand that, right? You haven't been to the CFP. You haven't been to the tournament. Like,
it's rough.
Like, it's rough, dude.
Women's sports is doing significantly better than men's sports.
Yeah.
At Utah. It's not even a thing. Cody Campbell has Dunning-Kruger effect. Okay. How many people know what Dunning-Kruger effect is?
I don't know what that is.
This is a big
sales
sales
to the peasants in the room.
Yeah, this is a big sales thing. The Dunning-Kruger effect is when somebody believes that they're amazing, they're probably pretty average. And when somebody believes they're pretty average or not very good at it, they're usually high performers.
Brother.
Ego always gets in the way of performance. And there are very rare cases, Deion Sanders, right? Very rare performances where the ego is backed up by performance.
Yeah.
Very rare. Cody may believe that his ideas are best for the Big 12. Nothing wrong with someone having passionate takes, but a smart businessman will always listen to people with experience on the topic, and a smart businessman doesn't publicly torpedo his constituency. Right? That you don't torpedo your colleagues. The problem is Cody Campbell doesn't believe he has equals. He believes everybody works for him and he can just do what he wants because he's a billionaire. Well, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, he doesn't watch Landman like I do. I watch Landman. I know what happens.
Yeah, you know what happens at Fort Worth.
Avoid the YouTube wrist slap, says Ronald Dump. Just any name to evade, dude. we did that video yesterday on butter knives, and I immediately got a notification. Not appropriate content for all audiences. And we go through it with.
I have to say, part of me wonders if it would not make more sense to just like
kick myself in the balls repeatedly.
What do you mean it's not content fit for all audiences? It's trending on Twitter, dude. All audiences are in fact interested.
Right, but Twitter has no guardrails. Google has guardrails.
Yeah. Well.
Head coach is the face of the program, not the over emotional crybaby AD. Oh, take it easy. SEO is the way. God damn it,
dude. But jokes aside, you're not wrong. The head coach is the face of the football program, bro.
But this is a shot at Mark Harlan.
Yeah, I know.
Running down the sidelines about penalties that allegedly lost you a game. Mike Smith, Mountain.
Zip up, Kitty.
If they do drive your Mark out, I want JD Wickers, the new AD, and Mark Harlan.
Do you want us to just start playing the outro music now for the conference? Not even for the show, just for the conference. We can start playing the outro music.
Good Christ. Or how about Mark Cuban outing Jason Kidd as part of the Nico Harris plan to trade Luka? Yeah. I'm not defending anything yet, Utah. I was talking in general. Utah has run the boat into the rocks and is taking on water. Just find that we are seeing a lot of power dynamics issues abroad. I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not even saying you're wrong, bro. I like I said, I agree with you in your take. I mean, I just think it is. You know what it is, dude? It's just unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. As someone who lived in Salt Lake for, we have spent like 10 years of our life there in 2 different stints. And both times, Witt's been the consistent and everything else around Witt has been the X
on
factor.
fire.
Yeah. Like it's just always been chaos. And, I think Kalani goes through some of that at BYU. We've had information in the past that alludes to that. And I think that
he almost left because of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that it's definitely a dynamic that's at play, but the best of them are able to wade through that and make a decision.
Get the new contract and pay he wants for himself and his staff.
And that's the thing that we didn't bring that up. I didn't want to make it a BYU Utah thing as far as Witt was concerned and the contract negotiation that went public, but it was eerily similar to the Kalani negotiation with BYU. Hey, I want a little more money for me. I want a lot more money for them. And we need more budget in NIL. And if you do those 3 things, we're going to keep winning football games and we're going to continue to climb the ladder. And that's just my biggest concern is that now you've put yourself in a spot where you're vulnerable.
Phil Venzer, go Cubs. What should your Mark do to make the Big 12 better? Well, I think you have to continue to drive revenue unrelated to athletic achievement. I think that's the number one thing that Brett Yormark's done, and we've talked about this ad nauseum on the floor. Things like the LED floor, killing the LED floor, that kind of stuff. Things like splitting basketball and football off into different business units, which now everybody does universally. Brett Yormark's idea. Continue to do things like drive event-based revenue, Big 12 tournament, Big 12 Pro Day, Big 12 championship game. Continue to drive that stuff. And I think that's where Brett Yormark has really made his member institutions more money. But then you get into this stuff like Smash Cap. And I just think that Smash Capital will be the end of the Big 12. I think it is the wrong, because again, I just go back and I look at past behavior as an indicator of future action.
Mm-hmm.
And the universities in this conference are so bad at doing business. You hired a guy who was good at doing business, and then you've ignored him. You all want to go and do this Smash Cap thing. He's telling you not to do that, and you're going to do it. It's the bucket that has like the tipping lid and all the mice jump on it.
Yes.
And then you see the one mouse stand on the rim and watch all the other mice fall into the bucket, and then that mouse jumps off and goes and eats through somebody else's wiring and cables. while all the other ones are in the bucket getting murked, right? Like that's what you see. Brett Yormark is standing on the edge of the bucket telling you not to walk across that lid.
Yeah.
And Cody Campbell's like, well, screw him. Let's go walk across the lid. That's what this is. That's what this is. It's when idiots think they're the smartest in the room. Well, Dunning-Kruger.
Yeah, I just don't think that Big 12 administrators at these different schools understand the leverage position that they're not in. Meaning you're in an uphill fight against the SEC and the Big 10 for access to money.
Yep.
And you want to go and buy the shiny new car known as Smash Cap. And the problem is that shiny new car is going to put you in an even worse leverage position than you're already in.
But hold on. I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't think Cody Campbell's an idiot. I think Cody Campbell is a very smart person. He just is inexperienced. He's trying to be Michael Phelps, but he doesn't know how to swim. Right? Like you just don't have the experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he's stupid at all. Yormark did want more basketball teams, but the Big 12 president ADs pretty much poo-pooed that, and Gonzaga didn't want to compete. He offered Gonzaga membership in the conference, and they said no, thank you. Gonzaga is, I'll give them credit. They know who they are and where they are. Right? We'll see. Is the Pac-12 ever a success? We'll find out. Like I got people trying to tell me again yesterday, the Pac-12 is going to be a power conference here in 2 years. No, they're not.
Let me say this. If there is a sports god that dictates what happens in all of sports, professional and collegiate, Brett Yormark gets run out of the Big 12. Alien Commissioner Ears gets run out of the NBA.
Commissioner.
And Brett Yormark can go back to NBA land and save us all our sanity in that conference. That would be just. That would be something. If that were to ever take place, that would get me re-engaged in the NBA. I would be like, all right, cool. We got an operator as the commissioner. We're going to start to fix some things. We're going to clean this mess up, and we're going to get back to what we were doing. But, that's probably wishful thinking at this point.
It is probably wishful thinking. I would agree.
Yeah.
You think Cody is trying to be Brett's replacement? I do not.
No, I don't think he wants to be a commissioner. I don't think he wants the restrictions of being having a
job.
Yeah, he didn't want that. He didn't want that.
I think he wants you to do what he tells you to do. That's the job he wants. I'm the guy who tells you what to do. Now go do it. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. That is complete nonsense. What's complete nonsense? Why does Cody Campbell have a punchable face? Looks like a member of the Lollipop Guild or a chubby 9-year-old with a drawn-on beard.
Chewy, that's.
I don't know. I don't think it's personal. Yeah. I just think that it's. Cody Campbell is a rich guy who thinks his money entitles him access.
Get back in your lane, Cody Campbell. Focus on Texas Tech, not on the Big 12.
Yeah. Landman is in Midland, but they were looking to move to DF Dub. But that might change now. Eager for the next season.
Yes.
I just want to see half-naked chicks at TCU.
Stay hard.
What's it? Oh man. The wife on
Allie
Larder. She is her career. I can't believe that's Allie Larder. That's
Everybody
wild.
needs to get a life, bro.
I don't even think she's that hot. I really do not. Like that show is fun to watch. I'm not passionate about Landman.
Which show are you passionate about? Which 80s TV show are you binging?
I'm not. I'm like The Pit's very good right now. If you're not watching season 2 of The Pit, and I'm hoping Mrs. Monty, my wife doesn't like The Pit. Mrs. Monty doesn't want to watch The Pit.
I couldn't do it, bro. It was a little too intense for me. I'm not.
My wife hates anything sports and anything good in life. She hates it. So
okay.
She wants to watch Bridgerton. I want to watch The Pit. I don't get to watch what I want.
We're not coaching Little League, buddy.
No, my wife and I are going to finish The Pit this weekend. It's actually not going to be raining and 35 degrees in Seattle this week.
Dude, it was pouring here last night, bro. Like, incredible rain.
Did you see the weather in Utah?
I did not see the weather in Utah, no. Let me guess, it's blazing hot in March or April.
Winter, middle of winter, big snowstorms coming in, freeze. The A word gave me a freeze warning for South Jordan, because that's where my house is. Like, it goes from winter to summer to winter.
Come on, dude.
To spring, now back to winter. You figure it out.
Just all you got to do is look at the front coming off of the Pacific, and you'll know what your weather is going to look like, dude.
Well, it is supposed to, here in Seattle, it's supposed to be dry until I go to Las Vegas to play golf on the 18th. So we'll see. Might have a nice little run up. Gonna get some golf in this weekend.
So are you thinking of getting a 7-wood before Vegas? Or what's the play with the 7-wood?
Yeah, you know what? Again, in things I'm not allowed to do, spend money on golf clubs.
Just so you can go to Pound Town.
I posted a video about the TSA stealing my TP5X golf balls.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to my contact at TaylorMade. And I'm a PXG. For golf clubs, I'm PXG all the way. But TaylorMade's 7-wood with a Ventus shaft is $579. Friends and family, it'd be $300. I do believe my wife would drug me and smash my nuts if I
fucking ass.
buy another golf club. I'm pretty sure that would be her course of action.
And it's very powerful.
Not sure. She'll chloroform that ass if I bring home another.
That's what fucking ticks me the fuck off.
But I'm hitting the high. My golf swing's a mess. I'm trying to be better at golf. And I've actually hit the ball very well this week. So I don't need a 7-wood. I want a 7-wood. Now I have an extra Ventus shaft. Because PXG, of course, replaced the shaft I broke. So I have an extra Ventus 7X. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think YouTube is being extra sensitive since the recent lawsuit by Facebook. Well,
dude, it drives me nuts, bro. It literally drives me nuts.
We are constantly getting. We have issues with YouTube on the daily.
Truly, we'll always be on YouTube, but I would love there to be a different platform that was a little more, loose is probably strong, but just one where you could talk about what you wanted to talk about without it being like, just full lockdown mode constantly. Like it's just
constantly.
It just drives me nuts, bro. Like anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Marcus wants to know if I'm a grown-ass man, why don't you just buy yourself a golf club? I did. I don't think my wife would say 2 words. But, dude, I don't even want to pay $100 for running. I'm trying to get back into running right now.
You said get back into as if you used to be into it.
I actually used to run a lot. My wife is the bane of my existence. She wants me to eat well and exercise and do all this. Like, just let me die. But the point is,
doesn't make you feel responsible.
I would like to get back into running. Many years ago, we used to run like 3-4 times a week together back in the Sacramento days. And I've lost enough weight where I ran one, because sometimes my wife works close enough to where we live that sometimes I will walk down into her work and walk home with her. There was one time where I ran all the way. I can run from here all the way to her office. And so it made me wonder, like, hey, and that was 20 pounds ago. That was before we went to Paris. So it's like, well, and so I've been looking at getting running shoes, but they're so expensive.
Yeah, get the 7-wood. Don't get running shoes. Get the 7-wood.
I probably should get running shoes instead of a 7-wood. I don't need a 7-wood. I actually need. Yeah, I need running. I need to burn fat, and I need to, dude. There's not enough hours in the day. My schedule says, hey, after work you should go upstairs and lift weights. I never do it because there's not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You get up at 4 a.m. You get up at 4 a.m. 6 o'clock rolls around. Do I feel like going and lifting? No, but you make time for the things you have to do.
I want it.
But when do you go to the range? When do you spend time with your wife? It's the one thing that makes me crazy about golf. It takes time. And my wife will lie and say she doesn't mind playing golf. My wife doesn't like playing golf. My wife only plays golf so we can play golf together. Right? Like it's just there's just not enough hours in the day. There's not enough days in the life, man.
Agreed.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
But I think the 7-wood would be a good investment based on your swing and the kind of game you play. It's a perfect fit for you.
Are you sure it's not some trader in the chat that's flagging it to YouTube? No, YouTube, like yesterday we played the video, the Sharon Moore video. Jake uploaded it as a recap. It got flagged immediately. Like immediately.
And you know what the problem, what annoyed me about
and
that?
What that means is they're not going to show it to anybody.
Bro, I did such a good thumbnail on that video too. That thumbnail was like A1. I was so proud of that. And of course, what do? Oh, flag here, flag there. Can't show this to anyone. What are you doing? Even though the whole video is blurred out and like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it, Go to the Nike outlet store in Marysville, save big money. Yeah. It's not that I don't have the money. It's just everything is so stupidly expensive right now. So expensive. Gabriel, my father legitimately is thinking that we should get a hybrid because of the gas market nowadays. The car market is so screwed up. It's so upside. Like buying a car, buying a house, buying shoes. Everything's so expensive right now. Like we were talking about how many miles I drive. I'm looking at golf courses and I'm like, I don't want to drive over to Bellevue to play golf because of the price of gas. Like it's just, everything is so expensive. It's so stupidly expensive just to buy gas.
Holden Middick.
And Buddy last night saying absolutely nothing. And what did the price of oil do? Straight up. Like we're just along for the ride today. We are along for the ride today. That's what today is.
Pretty much.
I would actually fight YouTube in that video, Jake. Nothing on that video broke any rules. Well, but you don't fight YouTube.
Yeah,
That's
you don't really
problem.
have that option, bro.
You don't fight YouTube because one, it's Google. And everything, you can't call somebody at Google. You submit a ticket, it's weeks before you hear from anybody.
Yeah.
And at that point, what is even the point of it? What is even the point of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like if you're talking about like platforms that are productive right now, I mean, we have a ton of, we have millions of views a month or whatever it is on YouTube. That's not even the question, but it's more like, what platforms allow you to really be productive and talk about the things you want to talk about without you having to have, because it totally changes the dynamic of the conversations that we're able to have. Like we could be talking about, we could be talking about all types of things on this show if we didn't have to worry about like, rules and regulations with YouTube and things like that. And, back in the day when we were on Periscope, we did all type of topics on the show. And we've talked about launching, new YouTube channels for, other topics that we don't really discuss on this show. And it's like the problem is like we could do that. And that's definitely an option, but it's like if it's just going to get suppressed, like it's not really.
It's not. The difference is they don't want a sports channel talking about Donnie. That's what YouTube does not want. And YouTube's algorithm is essentially now 100% AI. So you can't really appeal anything. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, YouTube is run by AI now, pretty much. Jakey, 3 layers today. That cold in the burbs of Eugene?
Yeah, it rained all night and it's 35 degrees out. So yeah, in fact, it is that cold in Eugene.
Brutal. We're gonna bitch and moan about how hot it is, and we were talking about this over the weekend. I would rather be chilly than too hot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind putting a jacket on, and quite frankly, you know, when we were grinding through the Pelican Hill course over the weekend, like, you know, I was like, dude, it's hot. It is hot. Like, legitimately, it's hot. And Anaheim Hills, as annoying as their construction was, like, that was just baking. Bro, Anaheim was really hot. So hot. Like I think we were like 86, 87 at one point, which is pretty hot for California.
Yeah. Yeah, it was warm over the weekend. But last night, my wife was like, hey, can you turn the fan on?
Yeah.
Yes. Say less. Say less. If my wife and I are completely different. She's always cold. But now it's kind of flipped. We're kind of equal. Mm-hmm. Although I will say, losing weight, I'm sleeping way better. Me and nighttime P guy have pretty much broken up now. Or at least we don't hang out nearly as much as we used to. Like, I've had a pretty good week of sleep. I will say that. I've been hot. But anyway, here nor there. I'd much rather be a little chilly than way too hot. Yeah. Like, it's not even a thing. Scoop. Sunny and 83 here. I miss cold, rainy days. Where do you live, Scoop?
He's a Scottsdale guy, I think.
Oh, are you? Oh, you're a Scottsdale guy.
I think.
I can't do Arizona. Arizona's so hot.
It's too hot, dude. It's too
hot.
All
the time. They want you to stay in your lane for a sports channel. It is them saying, shut up and dribble. It totally is.
Yeah.
Totally is. Orange Jesus also lies to people about oil. Yes, we have the most, but more than half of our refineries only use the type of oil that we have to import. Yeah, correct. Correct. Yeah, it is what it is. They want sports shows to stay sports shows. They do not flag political shows for Donnie talk. I do not know how you would get it changed. You don't get it changed. You don't. Joey says, Colorado, cold and rainy. Thank God, been way too dry and hot here. Well, yeah. Yeah, I feel bad for anyone living in Arizona, dude. We lived in Arizona. We did a nickel down state in Arizona.
Rough, bro.
Always hot, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Oh, you're in Cave Creek, and you're still hot.
Not a bad area to live, though. Cave Creek's nice.
But do you guys have water? What's your water situation? Going to be 82 here in North Carolina today. Nice. Plus, the Phoenix Suns suck. My guy Book needs to get to the Lakers.
Dude, did you guys see the other night? We didn't talk about it. I think I saw some stat about Book the other night. It was like he put up 35, but he didn't. It was like he put up 35, but didn't get to the line a single time or something like that. Like, it was all buckets, and like he did it in 3 quarters or something. Like, it was just a pure class display of just getting buckets,
mid-range buckets.
Yeah, dude. Like. Yeah.
Mid-range buckets, man.
Yeah, dude.
I am so excited. I'm into the NBA again. I don't know what switch was flipped. The fact that Luka Doncic is not getting MVP nods is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What Luka Doncic is doing for the Lakers, look, I understand that Victor's very good and Victor's having a season. He's doing it invisibly in San Antonio. Luka Doncic is having to do this with LeBron, and although Reeves and LeBron, now that LeBron's passive in their offense, look how much better their offense is.
Yeah.
Look how 50 games back-to-back years for JJ Redick. Like, look how much better the offense for the Lakers is now that LeBron is not the dominant force in the offense. Thriving. Reeves is thriving. Luka's thriving. DeAndre Ayton, who can't catch a basketball, is never going to thrive. DeAndre Ayton, jerk. Even if Luka Drops 60 tonight at OKC. I still doubt he gets ahead of Wemby SGA. Yeah, I doubt it too. I'm so tired of watching SGA flop for calls.
Yep.
Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that he's getting what he's getting.
Agreed.
And it is ridiculous. Okay, real quick, because I don't want to miss this story. Did you hear Pat McAfee losing his mind over the Masters? Okay, first of all, the story is that Pat McAfee wanted to do his show live at Augusta, and they said no. And then he went back and said, okay, well, what if we just do it on Wednesday of the par 3 and we're live on the course? They said absolutely not. Pat McAfee was not happy about that.
Obviously, a GOAT at his position, Super Bowl champion, has the biggest sports podcast on earth right now, I do believe, right? His New Heights, did they win the biggest?
I don't know.
Them or pardon my take, whatever the case is. We apologize for the current rankings, whatever it is. 1 or 2, gigantic. And we think he'd be good to maybe freshen up the coverage of the Masters. Okay, that's potentially the thought as it happens. I like it. The internet was rude.
Yeah,
the internet was rude about this. Obviously, the internet goes on to say, like, we don't need Jason Kelsey at the Masters. And that's probably a valid point, if I had to guess. And I'm only saying that strictly because we have attempted to be a part of the Wednesday coverage of the Masters at the par 3 thing for 3 consecutive years now. And for the people that are mad about Jason Kelsey being a part of the Masters, I got a good piece of news for you. They've told us to go to hell. So I think you should be happy about that they do try to preserve it as a whole. They have a certain thing that they are looking for.
I mean, I've said this multiple times. Jason Kelsey should be nowhere near golf. The TGL thing and Jason Kelsey should be nowhere near golf. But good for him. Good for him. You're only worth what somebody's willing to pay you. They want me to be a course reporter at the Masters. Tell me when. I'll get myself there. Tell me when. But I am glad they told Pat McAfee to go to hell. Because I don't think there's any reason that I agree they should preserve the sanctity of Augusta. It's one of the few bastions of normalcy we have in the world right now. And I get it. The par 3 on the Wednesday, it's a week from yesterday, in fact, is a different kind of vibe and stuff. Okay, cool. But why do we have to inject football into every single sport in the world? Why? Why do we need Jason Kelsey at the Masters as a course reporter? We don't. The answer is we don't. We don't. And yet, that's what we're going to get. And I am somebody, and call me a golf snob or a golf purist, whatever you want to call me. Fine, great, guilty. That's me, guy. I don't want football or the NFL anywhere near the Masters.
Yeah,
I want nothing to do with it.
My issue has nothing to do with Jason Kelsey personally. They do a great podcast. He's talented. It's not really about him. I think that the thing that I struggle with is that the culture of football is just shockingly different than the culture of golf. And one of my favorite parts as someone who plays weekly, one of my favorite things about golf is the professionalism in it, the respect for other players, understanding when to talk, when not to talk, all the little intrinsic things about golf. Like, when can you pick up your tee fast? When can you throw your club? When can you drop an F-bomb versus when can't you? Like, there's so many different things that I love about the game of golf that are on full display at the Masters. And one of the things that I think people don't appreciate about the Masters is the Wednesday par 3. The Wednesday par 3 allows pro golfers to be humans again for one day with their kids or their wife or their whatever out on that course. And the problem I have is that while I'm sure that Jason Kelsey would be a star at that kind of event, and I'm sure it will go over well because he is talented and, he understands it. I don't want things like the Masters to be blended with anything else. The Masters is one of the few tournaments a year, every single year, that I look forward to for its complexity, for its sort of, it's pure nature, man. Like, you're talking about a course that got destroyed last year through the storms. They rebuilt it. It's as good as it's ever been. Tiger's not a part of it. And I couldn't be more excited. I could not be more excited about the Masters being next week. And it's like this, it's the same thing about like baseball and ABS and umpires and all this drama we have going on. Like the game is as good as it's ever been. And I don't think we appreciate that enough. The Masters does not need football's help. It doesn't need, bro guy to be commenting on golf, and it just doesn't need that. And that's where, this is not like, I haven't even looked at the comments, but I'm sure we have people who are saying, oh, well, this is ESPN trying to be relevant and Disney's going out of business, which you guys have all been saying for years now, and they haven't gone out of business and they've been incredibly profitable. Yeah. Like, I get it from Disney's side, but I just want, can I get my 4 days of Augusta National on TV? Can I just give me my 4 days? That's all I'm asking you for, dude. That's it.
That's all. Just leave it alone. Get John Daly to get out there all liquored up and smoking like a chimney to go out and do fun interviews. Nah, I'm fine. Just have Amanda Balionis do the family interview stuff. She's good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. CBS returns to golf next week with the Masters. Golf is calm, controlled, but serious. Football is loud, chaotic, and unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Golf is precision.
Lawn. Get off my Augusta lawn. That's exactly right. Get off my Augusta lawn. Football and golf live in different planets. Yes, they do. The Cialis shot of the day. The
other thing too, though, with golf that I think doesn't get talked about enough. Mm-hmm. And Tiger talked about this like 20 years ago. There's an infamous clip where he makes this point, but golf is the one sport that I can watch on TV where I'm like, yeah, I've tried to hit that shot. I can't hit the shot that you hit. Like, that's an incredible shot, the incredible chip. What a putt. Like, it's so relatable because I'm in, when you watch a round of golf, there are going to be certain situations where you're like, yeah, man, like I was in a similar spot here, there, whatever. And he's so much better at chipping, man. What can I take from him? Like, it's because you play the game they're playing and you see how much better they are than you are. You're like, man, what a result that was. Like, I can't get down or understand like what it's like to drop a dude 10 yards down the field. I'm not a football player, dude. Like, I can understand it with baseball. I think that's why I enjoy baseball so much. But it's just these different sports where it's like, dude, it's so unrelatable because we would never be able to do anything like that. But golf, we have that connection.
Yeah.
And obviously that wasn't the case. And I made my mistakes.
Why not seek treatment before all of this came out?
Well, I didn't know I was that bad. I didn't know I was that bad. I was
How did
living
you
a
learn
life.
that? How did you learn?
Stripping away denial, rationalization. You strip all that away and you find the truth.
You said you were in treatment. The simple question is, for what?
Well, that's a private matter as well. But I can tell you what, it was tough. It was really tough to look at yourself in a light that you never want to look at yourself. That's pretty brutal.
What did you see?
I saw a person that I never thought I would ever become.
Yeah, he was in treatment for Pound Town. That's what he was in treatment for.
That's a private matter.
It's a private matter.
Yeah, okay. Okay, dude. Okay.
Tiger Woods is in treatment in a foreign country. He asked a judge and was granted permission to leave the country to go to treatment because he says if he'd have gone to rehab in these United States, he would have no privacy.
U.S. Americans.
This is fucking America. Hey, what were you in treatment for? Yeah, it's none of your goddamn business.
Yeah, it's a private matter.
Rinaldi, you. I was in treatment for Pound Town.
Yeah. Yeah, you were, dude. Yep.
The guy, yeah.
That downstairs kitty cat is not yours to have, okay?
And then LeBron wants to golf. And he is on Bob Does Sports today, which I cannot wait to watch. Look at his golf swing.
Look at how ass this swing is.
Dude, it is so humbling. Golf, you guys, golf is so humbling. It is.
Like, that's OB left. We're all on the same page. He hit that ball out of bounds left. Like, that's not coming back.
It is so humbling. Golf, there is no greater joy and no greater misery than golf. And it's all within the 35-second span of each other. Right? Like, oh my God. Like, it's brutal. It's brutal. Playing tomorrow. Looking forward to playing tomorrow.
Best game on the planet, I'm telling you guys, man. It is the single best game on the planet.
It's a disease. Golf is absolutely a disease.
There is nothing like going last on the tee box and watching. We're playing with this guy over the weekend at Pelican Hill, right? The smaller dude, he's probably like 5'9", maybe.
A little Asian guy.
Yeah, he's like a 250 driver, dude. And we're finishing up the round, and we're playing 18, and just to hit a majestic bomb of a drive that's like 50, 60 yards past him was just one of the best feelings that you could ever have.
And I know nothing about that right now.
I mean, just right down the middle, no question about it. Like, awesome feeling. And I'm telling you, bro. Then to top my forward 40 yards down the course was just an absolute dregs of society moment. And then to hit an iron onto the green from like 180 was great. So it just is, that's why the game is great, because you go from hitting a bomb to topping your forward, and then you hit a nice iron shot. Like, that's just how it goes, dude. That is how it goes, man. As an amateur.
It is the best sport, and it is the worst sport. It's just, but it does make me feel better to know I don't have the worst golf swing on the planet. It does make me feel better.
Dude, how bad is that? Like, and what's funny is Austin Reeds is actually a good golfer.
It's not that he's bad. He's just a new golfer. Him and Bronny are playing golf a lot.
And Bronny's swing is beautiful.
Bronny's actually very good. But again, what's the difference? LeBron's in his 40s. Bronny's in his teens, young 20s.
Yeah.
It is when you start picking up the game, and I'm fortunate that I played some when I was younger, but I took 20 years off the game, and it's really difficult to get back. It used to be in my golf game, the only thing I did well was drive the ball. I've never been a good iron player. And now I can't drive the ball. I'm not hitting irons well. I'm not chipping well, and I'm not putting well. But other than that, my game is on lock.
You're driving the cart better than Tiger does, though. So, I mean, there is that.
Like, it's such a mental thing. And
also, new golfer, bro. Nobody wears a towel on their pants like that, Bron. Nobody, look at the towel flying in the wind. Nobody wears a towel like that, dude. Nobody.
It's brutal. It's brutal. You know, I know you hate golf. You know, Gabriel, I'm so curious how good at golf Austin Reeves is. Oh, he's phenomenal.
Very good.
He is a plus handicap. Like, the guy is incredible. Everyone on the Lakers always complains how much better he is at golf than everyone else, and he is elite. I love how LeShank's ball goes way to the left, and he's still looking forward.
LeShanks is incredible, dude.
Would rather go fishing, but I could not physically golf now. Would face plant anytime I would try to tee off.
Dude. LeShanks, bro.
The piano music for Monty's golf game, hilarious. We all go through it, man. We all go through it. The hardest part about golf is you get to a point where you're good, and then you're like, okay, I want to be much better. And that's where all of the bullshit happens. Because the difference between good and great in golf is not very big. The performance of the good versus the performance of the great, massively different.
Dude. Massive.
But the reason you suck at golf, millimeters, and trying to figure out and master those millimeters, it is as difficult as anything I've ever done. It's impossible. LeBron is just left of the tree. Yeah, he's right there.
Right. Yeah, it's right over there somewhere.
Holly Rowe wears a towel around her waist to wipe her hands. Oh. But you know there's some sick son of a bitch out there that's like, wow, she's so hot. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, bro.
Okay, that's enough. Stop, please.
And then there's Shake who's like, oh, God, look at that piece of trash. What are you talking about? And then, Mendoza's aunt.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
At least LeBron did not almost hit a hole in one and curse about it, dude.
That's the amazing part, bro. Excellent point, dude. Bro goes from hitting almost hole in ones to just, just brutal. I mean, damn.
Here we go again. No, not here we go again. Not here we go again at all. Okay, real quick, because I want to talk about this before we leave. Would you date Kim Kardashian?
No.
Because?
Oh, just because you know what's been...
You know the customers who have shopped at the store.
You know the customers that have shopped at the store, but you also know, like, at this point, we've got so much scouting on Kim K that we know, like...
Yeah, we've got the tape.
Yeah, dude, we've got the scouting report. We've got the tape. Like, we've got it all. And, I don't know, dude. Like, I feel like every time I hear Kim K talk, old clips, new clips, yesterday's clips, like, whatever. It's always like, I'm a mom and my kids need me. And like, it's just that whole thing. And I'm just like, dude, like, what about you? Like, what is there to know about you as a person at this point?
She doesn't want people to know.
Are you single?
I am single. And I feel totally, totally content. I've been single for a while.
Is this the longest you've ever been single?
Yeah. And I'm totally good with that. Like, I have my kids to raise. I have like a life that like requires a lot of my attention, and my kids just really need me right now. So it's like usually friends like
set you up,
trying to set us up and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's okay if they're nervous too.
Yeah.
But like, they shouldn't be.
So obviously this is an older clip that somebody tried to repurpose, saying that her and Lewis Hamilton weren't dating.
Like.
How many times can she fit the word like into there?
Chick.
Like, she just makes me crazy. I've never understood the obsession with Kim Kardashian.
Mm-hmm.
She is, honest to goodness, is she not a porn star? She is a porn star who has evolved into a businesswoman. And hey, listen, if you want to do that, that's up to you. But please don't try to sell me on your wholesome, normal, housewife existence.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Because you're not. You're not just a mom raising her kids. You're not. You're at the White House, bucking for pardons.
Bro, your biggest problem is that your ex-husband made Lamborghinis disappear with his friends. I mean, dude, we get it, bro. We get it. Like,
and we played the rest of that interview on the, we played the rest of that interview. And of course, the other thing that I think people struggle with is like this Rolling Stone article that talked about how Kim Kardashian and her mom, Kris Jenner, wanted to seal the settlement with Ray J for the over the sex tape. She filed a motion earlier in March that publicly disclosing portions of the deal would, quote, cause substantial harm to the Kardashians' privacy interests and undermine the strong public policy interests in favor of settlement agreements. They don't. And the problem is that William Ray Norwood Jr., otherwise known as Ray J, and Kim K made a sex tape.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In October of 2025, Kardashian and Jenner sued Norwood for defamation, accusing him of having fabricated claims that the women should be the subject of federal racketeering investigation because he sought to harass and disparage the pair while simultaneously reviving his own fading notoriety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't call her.
Come on.
I think that Kim K. Listen, I think that Kim K. Maybe I doubt that she wanted her sex tape to leak, right? Like, obviously, that initially I'm sure wasn't great. I struggle because part of me is like, well, hey, your whole existence was launched from that tape. Like everything that you've built off of the notoriety from that is just that, right? Like nobody would know who you are the way we do now if that tape had never happened. And so maybe she's not like a full-on adult actress, but like your entire existence is based off of a tape that you made with bro, and you've gone on to do all this business and things like that. So it's just hard when you're like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for buddy that's in, that I'm not looking for athletes or rappers. I'm looking for finance bro or private equity bro, or like I'm looking for more normal. And it's like, well, I understand that the whole tape thing was decades ago at this point, but is that not a moment that defines your life? I mean, is that not a situation where you're like, yeah, that's how you got your start. You've built business and you've done a good job with that. But that doesn't mean that guy who's normal, who isn't in the Hollywood spotlight constantly, wants to be a part of that. Because if you join on with Kim K, that's what you're signing up for. You just agree to that. You're just part of that. That's part of your existence. So I don't know. I think that's the plight in Kim K's life is that's how you got your start. And, now you're going to have a hard time, figuring it out or finding that particular person, that would be a fit. That's what's challenging.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think all of these Hollywood types that want to try and say that the sex tape was bad stop. Kim Kardashian is nothing more than a figment of most people's imagination. Right? Like, I mean, what kind of life are you living? Are you proud of your biography if you're Kim Kardashian? And I would say you're not proud of your biography. I mean, you look at Ray J and you just look at the myriad of dudes she's allegedly dated and sort of married. Right? You look at the Kanye situation. You allowed Kanye to father a child with you. Like, are you proud of that? Are you proud of the Ray J sex tape? Come on. How are you? You're going to have to explain that to your kids at some point. Right? Like, come on, dude. It is. Yeah. Kim K is fake. And look, I know I might sound like get off my lawn guy, but my God, how many breakups, divorces, lawsuits, and going on podcast stories will it take for people to realize this? And yet they just watch her.
It's all a reality TV show, bro.
It's all her show. Like, it's just what it is. I don't know. I think we have this insatiable's probably strong. We have a massive appetite for that kind of content.
Agreed.
We as men, and especially as men, love that kind of content. And I know we love it because look how much it's been consumed. Do you think women are the leading viewers of the Kim K Ray J sex tape? I'm going to say they're not.
Do you think that women are... I would be really curious to know the demos on the Call Her Daddy podcast, because that's where that clip is from, the Call Her Daddy podcast. I would be really curious.
But that content is tailored to that audience.
Yeah.
Because who is Keeping Up with the Kardashians tailored to? That audience. So she is a chameleon, which I give her credit for. That's a skill.
It is.
But she's not. I don't believe that any of that is real. I don't believe that their lives, their stuff, her sister's like their entire family is just full of drama. And where did we learn about the Kardashians first? OJ and Nicole. Bob Kardashian, the attorney, right? Like their whole life has been built on drama.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But it's just fascinating to me that how do we get to a point where Lewis Hamilton, who probably could have any woman in the world, picks Kim Kardashian to date? I have no idea.
Good luck.
What is the calculus in one's mind?
If we're taking a serious look at it, Lewis is huge into fashion and glitz and glam and that kind of vibe, and Kim K fits right into that. There's no question about it.
But
I don't know how.
Do you not say to yourself, Ray J and Kanye, that's a special sauce. I don't want to dip my fry into that special sauce.
Listen, that's how I view it. That's always been my take with Kim K, is that I just can't look past that. But listen, I don't know what Lewis can look past or not look past. I don't know what other dudes can look past and not look past, but it's not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too judgmental. I have no idea. But hey, more power to her, right? It is what it is.
Yeah,
the Monty Show, as always, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Before you leave, hit the like button. I'm also bad at this, Jake tells me. Hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure you click the bell, bro.
Hit the subscribe button, click the like notification bell thing. Do it. We need you.
Follow us on socials. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Jake only lets us broadcast live on his TikTok channel.
Not true.
So we weren't live on my TikTok channel ever. So, it's fine. It's fine. All right. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.